I would get in a fight over it. Now, if I was around a couple of my black homies that are still kicking with today, and I use the word, and I'm around somebody that might take offense to it, they might back me up and say, "Hey, cuz, it's all good. Like, he's valid. Like, he's good, cuz. He's one of us." Because I've been told, because I work in a barbershop, and my black homie comes in all the time, and he looks at me all the time, and he tells me, "Cinco, you my cousin. You my cousin, cuz." He's like, "I know you. You my cousin. You look like us." But a lot of my a lot of my other Mexican homies, they don't have the same features I do. They look indigenous, but they don't know they're indigenous. And I'm the one to tell them, like, "Hey, bro, if you took a DNA test, you would come back a pretty high percentage indigenous. I could tell, you know." But like, I have different features than them, and so I don't get backlash. Like, you know, I don't really get backlash like that. But then again, it's not about what you say, it's how you say it. When I say it, you can tell that I'm saying it with endearment.
Well,
You could
see,
tell that I'm saying it kindly.
but
And
you
I'm
know
not being
what? If you're saying it and that's something you're used to with your black community and your phenotype, it's completely different from someone like Manny that comes
right,
from a suburb
right,
that
and I
takes
get it.
a berry
And I
drink.
get that. Yeah, and I get
Yeah,
that part.
it's forced.
And and to say it like the best way possible for the sake and respect for other people in on TikTok and in these communities, I don't use that word online.
What do
I
you
don't use that word online. I don't say it.
yeah,
You won't hear it come out of my mouth. But if I'm in the comment section, I might use it. I use it on Instagram in the comment section. But if you look at the comment section, there's a lot of people using it. But I'm not saying it's okay for everybody to use it, but I don't say it with a
but
with a heavy heart. You
but
know,
see,
I
you,
use it as a term of endearment.
your
Yeah.
personal experience with your phenotypes and your personal experience with the black community and your own personal community, like you said, it's regional. There's a lot of black people from different regions in
Yeah.
our places in our
Yeah, yeah, of course. Of course.
Manny saying that and then someone saying it back to him because it's like to us that's a slur. And we hear what people say about us. They don't just talk
Right.
about the people they call pretendians, right? That are actual and they have ancestry. I don't
Right.
believe they're full indigenous, but I'm not going to take away their ancestry because they've shown that they do have ancestors from areas that are indigenous. However, when they're already hating us and they say the N word and then try and make an excuse for that, then no, it gets worse. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And people, I haven't heard Afro Indigenous or Black people actually say the things like the WB thing. I don't even, and when they did say it in Spanish, it was that one time, and they keep telling people about it. And it's different from telling people about what happened than calling somebody something. So it's hard for me as a black person to sit here and be like, yes, whatever you do is not a word. No, it's important because it's going to cause a lot of conflict. It causes
Mhm.
hate, it causes arguments, it causes racial division, and it's not
Right.
okay. Some of them people, Cinco, be saying that black people and natives never was together. They never had kids. They were never together. It was illegal for them to have kids. And if it happened, it was a one night stand. That's straight up
Well,
hate.
no. Well, no. Like, look, this is another thing, and it's something that some people know, but they don't know it to that extent. But back during the time when the Spaniards came to colonize the region of Mexico, and they were going at war with a lot of the indigenous tribes in Mexico, they would kidnap indigenous men and indigenous women, and because they took over the Yucatan region first, the further south region of Mexico, they had indigenous slaves. And so these indigenous slaves were kidnapped and taken down to the Yucatan, where they had to suffer harsh environments. And they had to walk paths that were not a lot of people could walk them. So there was kids who would die on the side of the road. There was women who would die on the side of the road. There was men who would die on the side of the road. And
So
when
you have to say unalive because even if they're just
exactly, right. I'm
if they're
sorry
trying to
for
get me,
educational
I don't.
purposes.
Yeah, I
No,
don't
no,
want
I'm
them
not.
to get.
I'm not for
No,
educational purposes. Yeah,
I
for
don't want them to
educational
get you
purposes too.
on
Yeah.
accident because they're gonna. There's people that's gonna try and report me, and when they hit
Right.
those buttons, they might accidentally hit you. You feel me? So I just want you to be
Right. I
careful.
get you. I
Yeah.
get you. I got you. I got you. Sorry about that. And so they would unalive on the side of these roads, right? On the side of these walkways, on these paths. These were like harsh walks. Not everybody could walk them. And there was indentured Chinese slaves, indentured African slaves, African slaves, and Chinese slaves, people who were held against their own will. And these indigenous people, they weren't allowed to sleep and have kids with other indigenous people. So there is mixing. There is people that were indentured slaves, who were slaves, who possibly found, you know, a co-partner that wasn't indigenous, and they mixed with these people.
You skipping a
Maybe they
whole
liked them, maybe
thousand.
they didn't.
Think of you skipping a whole thousand indigenous people that left and ran away to St. Vincent with Africans to fight against the colonizers. There was thousands, bro.
Of
But
course.
whatever.
No, of course there was.
Where I come
I'm
from,
not
I'm a
saying there
simple.
wasn't.
But
Yeah, yeah, I'm not saying there
when
wasn't.
you're
But
talking to black
I
people,
can't look, I can't speak on northern Native Americans because that's not my lineage. Like just like the Africans told me on that panel that time, maybe like 8 to 9, 10 months ago, that I can't speak on their culture, on their people. I took that as constructive criticism, and I said, you know what, you're right. I shouldn't speak on it because then I'm gonna be looked at as racist, like you said, or I'm gonna be looked at as prejudice, or whatever word they want to label it me as. So if I got that knowledge, I just keep it to myself.
yeah. So the black
You
people,
know,
majority of
so I
black people
can't.
have, have Caribbean ancestry, right? So you're gonna hear
Right,
us talk about the Caribbeans and how
right,
it got into us. Like the only
right,
way that I can think of like that out of all the indigenous I have in my DNA, right? I'm majority African. But all of the indigenous I have in my DNA, the only way I can think of the 2% Zapotec getting my DNA is from what you're just talking about, and someone taking them and putting them in the Caribbeans, putting them in Barbados, the Lower Antilles.
right.
That's the only way. But that's one of the
Yeah,
reasons why I try not to talk about those regions. But
right,
The Marine region.
you will find black people who have native ancestry from the United States of America coming over to places where it says in the title native safe space and thinking that those people are from the United States, but their indigenous ancestry comes from Central America or Mexico. And that causes division and problems because they're going to tell you, no, we wasn't together like that. They separate because that's what the Spaniards did. That wasn't what the United States of America government did. You know what I'm saying? The United States government wasn't like that. So when they do that, it upsets black people because it's erasing black history from their history as indigenous people. And when indigenous people hear black people only talking about black people, it's erasing indigenous history from the black people. You get what I'm saying? It gets confusing because of
yeah,
the different demographics. But it looks like
yeah.
grandson wants to say something. And Susie is probably Suze. I don't know how to say that. Is probably going to respond. I think these two were talking in the comments.
No, I don't want to respond. I just want to show the different phenotypes of natives. But our main thing is we admix with the people over there in the great Antilles. We're not really talking about Mexico and Brazil and stuff like that. We are like in a north, like the north eastern parts. Like these
Right,
guys.
right. Yeah, and that's kind of where I was getting. I can't speak on northern Native Americans, northern indigenous people, because that's not my ancestry, and it would I would only get backlash from them saying you can't speak on our people. You need to learn. You need to educate yourself. And I've been told that several times. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna know my place. I'm not gonna speak on that. But I do know a little bit about this and a little bit about that. But it's not for me to speak on those tribes. Now, if they want to discredit it and if they want to say no, that's not us, we didn't do that, by all means, okay, that's you. But
What breaks
for
my heart is when you guys say
for
that due to educational purposes, and you guys are like, "Hey, I can only, speak on mine." I hate that they say that people are trying to separate themselves from indigenous people because everybody on this
yeah,
continent
and
is indigenous.
go ahead.
I mean, the
Right,
people that was here first, you guys, no matter what continent you came from.
right. And yeah, I mean, and that does happen. That does happen. I could potentially be putting myself in the way of getting backlash after this live. And
Yeah,
I'm gonna be told, well, you said this and you said that, and you know what? Quite frankly, I don't really give a damn because I'm not saying anything bad.
you know
I'm
what I like
speaking.
about you
I'm
people?
speaking on history. I'm speaking on history and stuff that I educated myself on and what I digged on, and I don't fully know it all, so that's why I'm never on here really speaking on stuff because I'm still learning myself.
You
But
know
I
what
could sit there
I
and
like
be
you?
like, that's not really true. You know what? They did do this, they did do that, but I'm gonna leave it up to you because you're speaking for your people. You're not speaking for everybody.
Exactly. I like you because in the beginning, you was only hearing what people was saying, and you could only go off of that. But then you started coming around, and you started really listening to what I was saying, and you seen that I don't know if this is for sure, but you seen I was not saying that indigenous people were not from this land or not the first people of this land. You seen that I was saying I don't know what you were seeing, but you could tell I wasn't doing anything with ill intent. And that's why I like you because you're looking at your own through your own eyes and not through somebody else's. Just like Sue.
I was just going to say like you said, there's many ways, that black people migrated through these continents. So even with my people coming in to Virginia from South America and settling again amongst natives in Kent, Delaware. So the Delmarva Peninsula is Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware. So my ancestors settled all around these lands as free people.
So when he's talking about his ancestors, we have to remember you have to know who he is and his ancestry to know what he's talking about when he's talking about free peoples. And when we say free peoples, usually we're talking about African Americans in this life, at least over here. And then he has indigenous background. Like I have my ancestors that are indigenous. But again, because of my indigenous percentage, I don't say that I say I'm African American. That's just my personal choice. You know what I mean? Like I could be like other people and be like, yeah, I'm Afro Indigenous because my grandma's dad was Indigenous and her mom was probably Afro Indigenous. I don't know whether her mom was full Indigenous or Afro Indigenous. You know what I mean? I don't know. But I know that if, from looking at my DNA, I have enough in me to match people that was archaic here in the Americas, but not enough for me to say to put that on as a full identity. Now, if other people do that, I try not to. I really try not to tell people who they are because I don't know their DNA. But one thing I
Right.
don't like is I don't like people erasing indigenous people, whether they was light skin, brown skin, or dark skin. And I don't like them putting Afro in them because they have a different phenotype. And I got upset yesterday because Josh showed his grandma and his great grandma, and or his great grandma. I don't know who it was, but he showed two women that he's a descendant of, and someone said that they were Afro Indigenous, and that upsets me because when people do that, you're erasing that indigenous ancestry that could have been your cousin. It could have been your ancestry's sister. You don't know what happened to get them in that area of the world because they was moving us everywhere. They was moving Africans everywhere. They was moving natives everywhere over here in America. They was taking us from Barbados and bringing us over here. They was taking us from Jamaica, bringing us over here. There's just so much that happened back then that when we start erasing those indigenous people, that hurts me because that's their ancestors. Like your ancestors, some of your ancestors came into our community and had kids with Africans. So when they do that, it's kind of that hurts me a lot. And I would hope that we could stop like trying to invalidate people that aren't trying to say that they're the original people, because that way we can probably bring awareness to the fact of what actually really happened in this country, like what really happened with our communities. There's going to be just like in Africa. So this is what I'm going to say because I remember you said this and I just want to respond. um People say not all indigenous people were enslaved. That is true. Not all indigenous people were enslaved. Not all Africans were enslaved either. So there's sectors of us, there's groups of us that were a product of slavery. And the ones that were the products of slavery were the ones that have both of those ancestries, one with the majority of one than the other. So when we're talking about indigenous, when they enslaved indigenous people, we're talking about our relatives that got enslaved, you know? We're not talking about our relatives that didn't get enslaved. We're trying to bring an understanding. Does that make sense to you, Cinco?
Yeah, it does. It does. And I mean, what are what are we talking about? Um, we're talking about what, 5, 6, 7, almost 1,000 years
No,
ago. This
no.
is this is hold on. This is we're in a different time right now. So everybody's mixed.
Yeah.
Everybody's mixed. There's some people that can be pure of one blood, but when we're speaking about a lot of the people on this planet, there's a lot of people that are mixed with other different races. So it's like somewhere along the line, somebody mixed with somebody.
Well,
You
so
know,
with when I'm talking about the indigenous ancestry, it says close as 1850 when right like 10 years before slavery ended. That's the only reason why I say 1850, 1852 is because I have legislation to back that up. I can't back up something even if I know that it happened until 1906. I have legislation talking about how they put indigenous people with Africans into slavery. So that's a
Yeah.
great grandma or a
right?
great
Yeah,
grandma.
yeah. There was people that were kidnapped.
It's
You know,
5 million.
I'm not gonna say that there wasn't indigenous people that were kidnapped and forced to be slaves. Of course there was. It happened in Mexico, what we now know as Mexico. It happened.
Yeah.
The Spanish colonizers, the French, they were kidnapping people from indigenous tribes, taking them down into Yucatan, having them be slaves, having them do their dirty work, and only letting them sleep with people of other races, the Chinese,
Bro,
people
them
like
people
that.
were doing the same thing to us and the Portuguese to the point to where
Right.
so I got them niggas Y chromosome. So imagine how the fuck I feel. My haplogroup is R. It's not even African. So that
Exactly.
I gotta think about getting if my people got graped or anything, you know?
So I want
Right.
Sue to respond because she's been patient, but I did want to say when Sue's done, I do want to talk about how when they came over in 1492, And when they returned in 1493, they had African slaves. So Africans have been over here since the Europeans have been here. Suze, go ahead. I'm gonna hit mute.
I don't know. I just want to say, like, I think so. I don't know. I mistook, and we really need to find a better term for people. I want to say the originals, but they're not the originals. But there needs to be a term for people who say that they were the first, they were here. But like, there needs to be a term, because I'm really kind of sick of getting lumped into one group or the other. Because
You know what I think you should use?
you
should call them indigenous.
No.
Well,
no, let me tell you why. If they have ancestry to this land, they're no different than you guys.
Well,
They
no,
have-
to this land, yes, but I'm talking about like
that would be like a reality check. But go ahead.
the
Granny, it'd be
people who
pure
have
African.
like the people who have no indigenous whatsoever to the U.S., like to the Americas, none.
But
You talking about
majority of them do have ancestry. They've shown their ancestors. They've shown it. Some of them have ancestors that are on the Dawes rolls.
Yeah,
Granny,
and
never
those
seen
people are who I'm speaking of. I'm speaking of like the really out there, like Empress Rarebird.
Yeah, I don't know much. Yeah, that's different. They think about starlings and what else?
Yeah, there needs to be a term for them, because when most of us like when most like I feel like when most of us are talking about pretendians, we're talking about the absolutely like 0% like Empress Rarebird followers. And then there's some, like, I've had to weed them out myself. I'm like, wait, are you saying that this person can't be indigenous because they're black? Because that's not right either, you know?
Yeah, there's different groups of them though, Suze.
Then there is. So there, I wish there was a way to define them, because like I didn't really, I gotta say, I didn't really appreciate the conquistador comment. But at the same time, that's also in my heritage. So I mean, cannot be mad about, but that my behavior wasn't conquistador. That guy was saying stuff like, oh, well, you know, prove your dad has coarse hair that stands up and is dark skinned, because I know you guys lie, like stuff like that. And it's like, no, like, I'm not going to show you my dad, because one, I don't think he would appreciate that.
Right.
And
I apologize though on my end.
No, it's okay. Like, I mean, when you said it, I was like, hey man, screw you. And then I was like, wait, I do have conquistadors in there. You know, like, so I mean, it is what it is. But
so look, there's a guy that just came in here that when you look at him, you think he's he's just a regular guy from Africa. But if you see his phenotypes, he literally has the Southeast Asian phenotypes, which is so here's the thing. Let me explain the Southeast Asian phenotype and what I talk about with the differences of the phenotypes within the Native American community. In the northern Native American community, they're not going to hold as much Southeast Asian DNA as the southern, but places like where Cinco's from, they have a higher percentage of Southeast Asians than people from the north, like a United States of America. And some of them, I'm trying to think which, I don't know the tribes, but
he's on the California side.
Yeah, the California side, any part that where the migration came up through California all the way up to Utah, they would hold that Southeast Asian DNA as well as some of the southern states, right?
It's the
no problem, Kate. But like the reason why Cinco has his phenotype, no offense, Cinco, and you're not gonna see it on your DNA because it's an admixture. The admixture that happened 30,000 years ago is the reason why your DNA is set up the way it is. And
do we know his haplogroup, Granny? He might be B.
What's your haplogroup, Cinco? Do you know?
If he B, that'll explain it.
I do not.
Okay.
I do not
But
know
they,
my
I mean, there's
haplogroup.
a
'Cause you gotta
distinction
take
between
a
what
separate
Kitu,
DNA for that, right?
between what Kitu was saying, or Ket, I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm gonna just butcher everybody's name. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
But there's a difference between what Chief was saying and you were saying, and I think what Kitu was saying, which is why I kept asking him if he denied the slave trade, because I'm trying to figure out what camp he's in, which is
Oh,
again why I'm frustrated why we don't have like this terminology.
the
Because
Portuguese is over here tripping.
what was that?
Well, you just gotta ask them. You just gotta ask them, are you African American?
Yeah.
And that right there will tell you, because they'll either say no, or they'll
Or
say
they'll say I don't have a drop of African in me, and then it's like, well,
That's
what?
when you know that's when you know which camp they're in,
Yeah.
which group they're from.
Most
So
of
that's
these
what I
wars,
have to do. I have to do the same thing. You know, I can't.
I didn't say you denied the slave trade. I said that's why I kept having to ask you that. Because I was trying to figure out what you were in.
Yeah, because there's groups that believe in the slave trade, but there's just different. There's some that believe in Anunnaki. There's some that believe in
oh my God.
There's a lot of different things. There's so much going on, but then they split into their own groups, and you just gotta know which one, because you can tell, because you'll see them argue with each other sometimes, just like the native people. You know what I'm saying? But they're
And so,
like, go
And
ahead.
then he keeps saying our history didn't start with slavery. I don't think
no,
anybody
I'm
said
saying
that.
some of us don't equate with slavery. Like I'm a Cimarron, right? So I hate when people try to equate all of us with slavery, because as soon as my people jumped off the boat, we started fighting. You feel me? So it's
Yeah.
like we don't like to make it seem like, them white people just had their foot on our neck. We've been fighting for 500 years,
Well, and I understood what you were saying, but for most of the comments, I was just arguing with Kitu.
Okay.
So
I
where did
wasn't
our
even arguing
history
with
start,
you.
T2?
Yeah. No, I'm not even gonna argue with you or try to disrespect you because of who we're not even, I'm a man at the end of the day. So I'm trying to say stuff to you in the least disrespectful way.
No, I appreciate that. The whole time I was basically arguing with him because he was like, show me a coarse haired, dark skinned native whose hair stands straight up, like me and the host were talking about earlier. And I'm like, shit, that's my dad. He's not as dark anymore because he doesn't go outside all the time.
And then
But
we have another group, and I respect him because he knows that more. I don't know, but I like you, sis. You know what I'm saying? But he doesn't identify as African or African American. He identifies as Moor. So Moor isn't a person that thinks that they're the real indigenous people. So but they all are in the same circle, kind of, or area, because people that I think our phenotypes bring us together, whether we agree with each other or not, or whether we have the same beliefs. But just like you guys' phenotypes bring you together. You know what I
He
mean?
has a significant amount of North African DNA, surprisingly.
But I do want to clarify, like before TikTok, like every time somebody that was black or African American or whatever term we want to use in this situation said that they were Native American, I 100% was like, heck yeah. Like I always believed them because of how strong the communities were allies throughout, colonization. So
So
I just
now
wanted to clarify that.
thank you. Now they're trying to erase the African Moors by saying that Vicente Guerrero was mestizo. I'm so serious. Someone's been
More
running
started the
around in the
wars here,
comments.
Granny.
They're
Literally.
like, I have proof that he was mestizo. After hundreds of years, now all of a sudden that black people are saying, because I had a live stream and I was like, was he indigenous or was he Afro-indigenous? Because you guys had different phenotypes, and they were
What
coming
about Esteban
in
Nico,
was
Granny?
Afro-indigenous. They was coming in saying he was Afro-indigenous, and I was like, okay, but his family owned land, they owned companies, and they was like, yeah, Moors, they own that because they were conquistadors. So
What
after that
about
live stream, this guy started running around saying that he was mestizo, and I was like, that's the problematic stuff right there.
What about Esteban Nico? After he gained his freedom after fighting all them wars as a Cimarron, he migrated up north and started a town. And his name was Esteban Nico the Moor. Like that's American history.
So people requested, I'm not adding unless I know who you are because I have two people on my panel. It's the first time they've been on my panel, and I don't want them to have to argue with anybody about if if black people are original or if they're not. I'm just being honest with you. I gotta know your vibe before you get up here. Now, what's up, Carlos? Now, when Manny was being anti-black and another indigenous person was calling him out on it, Manny said that he was a traitor and was calling him names, and it's not okay. I mean, I hope that his friends are able to tell him, yo, chill out on that, bro, because it is coming off a little anti. You know, I'm hoping, Cinco.
Hey, I'm gonna hop down. I might come back later. I wanted to thank you all for having me on and being civil and giving me a chance to explain what I meant.
No problem. Even if I don't agree with people, I let them finish their statement because I don't think that we can have a full understanding of what someone's saying if we're interrupting them or we can't hear exactly what they're saying. So I appreciate you for coming up.
And especially like with post pregnancy brain, like sometimes I'm not super clear in how I communicate. Especially because like I'll forget like words for things, and it's awful, and I hope it goes away soon.
Let me tell you, I understand. I'm menopause. I've been going through menopause since 32 and I'm 50. And sometimes you'll hear me raise my voice, and sometimes you'll hear me, you'll just see me just in the live. Man, it don't stop. We still forget stuff. It's like,
I feel you. It's awful.
congratulations on the baby.
For real.
Yeah, he's a handful, but I love him. He's my favorite.
Yeah. Well, I'm probably gonna end my life because I've been on here for, let me see. Oh my gosh, I've been on here for 5 hours, you guys. That's a long time. I need to relax. I need to relax a little bit. And I got a game. So, and I already ate the pickle cinco. So
Oh yeah, I missed it. I was at work all day. I was busy.
I couldn't wait.
I hope it was good. You
It
tried it with the
was.
chamoy and the tahin.
Yo, I had it with a regular dill pickle because the
Oh, okay.
chamoy was too spicy. The pickle from the chamoy kit.
The
Oh my!
chamoy?
Yeah, the pickle was too spicy.
Come on, chamoy is sweet.
Not that one. Not that one
I
had
mean,
me.
to me, it tastes sweet.
Yeah, because y'all
Sometimes,
just like black people. We eat spicy.
yeah,
I don't eat spicy.
I mean, chamoy is sweet to me.
Yo, let me tell you something. Yo, do you guys remember? Okay, I'm gonna tell you something about my grandma. Okay, and a lot of people, I don't know if they know. I tell people once in a while. My grandma used to give us a spoon and tell us to go in the backyard, find a dandelion with greens around it, with leaves around it, dig it up, and then she would get it. She'd rinse it off, give us the dandelion. She'd rinse it off and she'd cook it and make greens for us.
Oh, I drank that.
Yeah, we ate that. We ate that.
I let
Like
it
my
sit in the
grandma,
water.
yeah, she had names for her dogs that we never heard before. Her dogs that she always named them, they were German Shepherds. She always named them Chinook all the time. Bye, Sue. Thank you. She always named them Chinook. My grandma went to a boarding school, but the boarding school she went to, because of her complexion, she went, well, she's my complexion. You've seen my color. She went to a Catholic, mainly European boarding school with black girls. There was a few black girls. She went there when she was 14. And, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. My great, great, great grandma walked the Trail of Tears. So it's kind of like, I have a lot of history with that. I have culture from what my grandma taught me. The way that she raised her kids was the same way as when she raised how she was raised, where she was from. you know, but we moved from Missouri to Iowa, so we're disconnected. But when I came online, at first I wanted to reconnect with my grandma's side because she helped raise me with my mom. But I got so much hate, yo, that and I seen so much hate that I just was like, no. But I've always identified as African American. I've always identified with it. But people get mad at me when I start talking about my grandma. But what's crazy is my dad's side has more Southeast Asian in his side from the islands than on my other side. And that's what's even more confusing. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and rest a little bit, man. I hope to see you guys in some live streams. Don't be cussing people out, Cinco and Chief.
Nah, I'm about to go play
All
with
right,
my. Oh, all
all
right,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't cuss people out online because I mean when I first got on TikTok and I got live access, I will say I didn't know about the guidelines and everything, so I would cuss. I would hit my Nick vape online, and I would always get banned. And then some younger guy, told me to get down, and I was like, that makes sense. So ever since then, I don't really like cuss at people on here.
Yeah,
I
period.
don't do all that because I mean I don't always talk on live access, but like I despise having it taken away.
Yeah. I
Because
mean,
it makes me feel like, man, you don't know how to act.
right.
That's
You
how
have
I
enough
feel about it.
followers. Oh my gosh, Cinco, you got that in your profile, bro. I think were you
Well,
supporting
that's
Manny?
no, that was the Fat Joe quote.
Okay,
That's
all
the
right.
that's the Fat Joe quote from an interview he did.
Cinco. I'm gonna
I'll
go ahead
remove it. All
and
right,
do
all right. I'll remove it for you.
thank you.
I'll remove it for
Because
you.
I
Alright.
like you, yo. Like I
Hey,
really
No,
Granny.
I'll remove it. I'll remove it for you, just for out of respect. Out
I
of
don't know.
respect.
I grew up with Latinos. They say it like they like my brothers. I don't know. They don't
I
offend me.
want them I don't want
I'll
them
remove
to
it.
I don't want them to see Cinco and be like, oh, he's like Manny. And I don't think Manny's a bad guy, but I think that Manny his anti-black comes out when he don't care or when he feels pressured. Like you were saying that people was coming at him and that's why. No, people was talking about him saying the N-word and he never addressed it and said he did address it and said, I'm sorry, but he kept making excuses for it. If he would have just been like, okay, I'm done, no, we shouldn't say that, nobody would have kept coming at him about it. But he did that on his own. He was like, "Oh, you want to keep bringing it up? Then I'm gonna do it." That's
That
not
shit
what
roll off his tongue like bread on butter, Granny.
Right.
He say
That's
it like
what
that.
that's what I did when people was coming to me with hate. They was like, "Oh, you're a bad person." I was like, "You want me to be the bad guy? I'll be the bad guy." You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like Misfit. Exactly, Mel. Really is the one the tone you use. Yeah, I agree, Kate. I agree.
Right.
And
Look,
people,
this is the thing that I've always said. Um, and people are always looking for that sacrificial lamb to have on their life.
yeah,
People are always looking for somebody to point out and paint him as the bad guy, and kind of roll a topic off with them. And I mean, it's happened to everybody. It's happened with a lot of people that I go on their lives. It's happened to you. It's happened to Manny. It's happened to a lot of people. But
yeah.
people are always looking for that one person to make a big topic out of on these lives. And I mean, after a while, I get kind of tired of it. I feel drained from a lot of the
Yeah.
arguing that goes on, and like it takes a lot out of you just listening to this stuff. Just a negative vibration that you hear from it. It takes it out of you sometimes. So
It does.
that's why I try not to debate. That's why I
And
try not to get on
I would have
panels
let
and
Manny.
everything.
I would have let Manny up today, but he lied and said I didn't let him up that day, and I let him up that day because one of my mods dropped him, and he said that I muted him, and then he called me the B word. And my thing is, he on a timeout from my spaces because I can't keep being nice. I can't keep sitting here letting you up, and then you turn around and call me out my name. And I ain't never disrespected Manny like that. I've never called him out his name. I'm just like, I know he was probably feeling gassed up by his people at the time, but he gonna have to apologize to me for just flat out lying on me. That's like Blackwater. I don't care who it is, if it's a black person, European person, native person. If you lie on me or call me on my name, we got issues. But it's not issues like we're fighting. Like I'm not gonna drag you to 18 double hockey sticks. But that's not cool because if you're going after nice people, then that's a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Oh, hold
yeah,
on. Who's one Will
and
Fidel?
who?
Oh, I thought that was Fidel, but I think it's some. They said carbon footprint. I don't think that's the Fidel guy that had the. That's the indigenous person. I think that's a non-native person. That's in my request box. But yeah, I'm exhausted, y'all. I gotta literally.
Yeah,
I'll
and
post this
yeah,
link for.
I
Go
was I
ahead.
was I was gonna say that. So we didn't really get to touch the topic that I wanted to get at, but we'll save it for another live, and we'll just pick up on it. You know, I
Wait,
wanted to
what's the
talk about.
topic? Oh,
It was just about the live that I heard yesterday. You know, and then I was like,
yeah,
wow, and I was saying a bunch of wow, right? So I
yeah,
just wanted to address that, and you know, in a good way, just to kind of, like you said, constructive criticism. But we'll save that for another live.
yeah. My
and
thing
just
is,
and just my thoughts on it, listening to it, and what was going on. You know, I heard a little bit of it, and then I ended up falling asleep because my back's
yeah.
been hurting.
Oh, I
I,
hope your
I
back
got in
goes over.
yeah, I got in a car accident, so I've been dealing with that.
Oh, I'm
Somebody
sorry.
rear-ended me,
What
so
was it that
yeah,
helped
but
me?
it's all good.
Let me tell you, there's something that helped me drink a lot of water. I used to get deep tissue massages, and at first it hurt. And then
Right.
no, this is not just because you see a black person talking doesn't mean it's a pretending life. That's what I'm talking about, man. It's like they don't even pay attention to the conversation. But I do want to say that during that whole live stream, I was still saying BIPOC community. I let people talk. I let people talk. Unless they're saying something really egregious. Like if he was calling y'all WBs, I would have dropped him. If he was calling you B's, I would have dropped him. You feel me? But he was talking about his life
Yeah.
experience. But just the people I've came across that has said bad things about me or has put words in my mouth, like me saying I call them Asian, and I don't do that. You know, it's like when they cut the live stream off, they didn't even show that I was saying I didn't care. I don't care what color a young person is. I'm gonna love them all. They didn't let nobody hear that part. They turned that off. They turned it off. That's really that's really weird. But I would love to talk to you about it again. I am gonna rest for a little bit, get on my
Yeah.
robot because I have. So what people don't know is that like the gaming community, we have to go live like 10 hours a week. So I go live like at least 5 days a week for 2 hours, but I'm already on there like for 5 hours sometimes. But
Yeah,
so this is oh, she's
I got,
throwing it
I got,
down.
I got kids, so I play Roblox sometimes too.
Period. Please play Roblox. You should join
They
me.
tell me, Dad, Dad, play with my daughter. Dad, come on, play some Roblox with me. So I'll get on there and play Roblox.
Yeah,
There's
I
there's there's
encourage.
a there's a game. I put it in the comments one time. I said, Granny, play in the hood because it's kind of like Grand Theft Auto.
Is it
So I
really?
play. I play in the hood. It's like a Roblox version of Grand Theft Auto. You could buy arms and weapons and stuff like
I'm
that, and
getting it.
you
I'm
could
getting it
get a
because
little
that's why
house.
I'm playing it.
So
I've
yeah,
been playing these role play things not only because of the community guidelines, right? Because
right.
people report me so much, I can't play GTA online. And when I do, it'll be 18 plus. So I gotta go on YouTube and play it. Plus, my live studio doesn't support it. It'll make it lag. So I have to go through StreamYard. But I'm
Okay.
trying to do the role play stuff so that I can get into the
Right.
community that I'm already in because I'm nervous because I've never done
Hold
it.
on. So they will report you even if you RP, if you role play GTA 5.
They report me for just saying hello. I
I
have
see.
people, yeah,
That's crazy because I see people on GTA 5M all the time.
yeah. But see, they don't have people
And
that hate them for 2 years. Like
right,
this group I'm in now, the only reason why I came over here, I've always wanted to talk about these issues, but I had to finish the fight I was having from another group because I was saying not to bully people, and they said I was coddling European people, but I don't think that just because a person is from Europe that they're racist. So I think that everybody should have a chance. So it all started with a Colombian man. And so they started trying to destroy my reputation and trying to get rid of me and ruin me. It didn't work because I'm still here. You know what I mean? But they continuously they just won't give up. And the main people I have an issue with from that side are Euro indigenous people. And because they would say racist things to me and say I'm indigenous. But they have blonde hair and blue eyes. So when you're saying something bad, I'm not gonna see that. You know what I mean? So
right.
those people were the ones that did it. So now I'm over here and I'm talking about educational things to my family. And the people that I have issues with over here is they look like the same people I had issues with over there. But it's a whole separate thing. It's really weird. But I like education and science. So I was really happy. And my old friends, you'll see them come through and they'll be like, Granny, I'm happy that you're talking about what you used to talk about before all that stuff happened. And I've always talked about this stuff. But yeah, I'm always going to get reported on here. You know, that's why when you come in my live streams, the most, I had like 30 people.
It comes with the territory. It comes with
Yeah,
the territory. How many followers you have? Like a 3 million?
yeah, I have 3.5 million on my main one.
Yeah, yeah, it comes with the territory.
It does. I didn't know
You
that
know?
though. It's like I didn't when I became famous, I didn't mean to become famous. I'm just a regular person. And that's the thing. A lot of people want to be famous. They want to be social media class, right? The reason why I'm not a millionaire is because I humble myself. Just because I know how to dance and people like it, just because I do makeup and people like it, just because I treat people like humans, you know what I mean, doesn't mean that I'm, any more special than anybody else. You probably have more money in your bank account than I have followers. You feel me? You would never know. So I'm not going to treat people any less. A lot of people don't talk to people that have 2,000 followers or 10,000 followers. I like to talk to people because I don't want people. Back in the days when I would go into someone's live, they would cry. But I had to make myself human with people so that they can see me talking with people. I never talked to anybody at first. They kind of forced me to talk to people because my messages was off, and then they was spreading that horrible rumor about me. And then other adults was coming into my live stream, and they were like, "Hey, Granny, can you open up your messages?" Or they'll message me on Instagram, and then I found out they're adults. I talked to them, then I finally opened up my messages again. I would close my messages for a year. When they was running around saying that thing about the video games and it being creepy or whatever, my messages was off for a year. No one could contact me.
Wait, hold on. They were saying you were creepy for playing Roblox?
Yes, they said I was a groomer.
What?
Yeah,
No,
and when
that's not right.
I was the first person that went live on TikTok with Among Us, and I had a bunch of people coming in calling me apes and monkeys and the N word, and two people asked to be a mod. I don't look at people's profiles, so I just modded them. I was 47, 48. Still, I don't really look at that because I don't want to. I know there's kids out there. I don't want to look at your profile. You know what I mean? But
Right.
I modded them, and then like a month before they attacked me, the two mods were talking about Bandcamp or something. So I remember I was doing my ice cream makeup, and I seen it in the comments of them talking to each other, and I just was like, "Wait a minute, are you guys in high school?" And they're like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Wait a minute." So at that moment, I was like, I should just remove them, right? But then I was thinking to myself, I don't talk to them. I don't know nothing about them. I don't know their names. I don't know anything. They're just mods. They're not doing anything. They're not arguing with a dog. They're not doing nothing. So when the stuff happened, one of them got blocked. One of the adults got blocked because they all came in being mean, and we're not used to that in our community. And so I was like, well, it could have been one of the eighth grade mods, because I think it was eighth grade going into ninth grade at the time. I said could have been one of the eighth graders or the adults, because I teach people not to bully. So they said, oh, she's a groomer because she has two eighth grade moderators. They're still my moderators. Haven't seen them in like 2 years, but I don't
Well,
talk to
look,
them.
this is the thing. People hear something and they use the word out of context. Like I'm on the school site council for my daughter. So there's courses that I got to take every year to stay on the panel to be on the school site council. So there's a lot of courses that show us what grooming of a child is. And just because you got a child as a mod doesn't mean that you're a child groomer. Child grooming would be to dress a child up as in boy clothes or girl clothes, or paint their nails, or
Or talk about
do
adult
their
things,
hair. Yeah, talk about adult things. That's child grooming. Now,
like
having a
using
child
bad
on your
language.
mods, that's not child grooming. Being
Oh,
a
the other
mentor
reason,
for a child, that's not child grooming. Showing a
exactly.
kid how not to be a bully and stuff like that, that's being a mentor.
Thank you.
That's showing a child what's the word I'm looking for, morals. That's what that is. It's not, I mean,
Let
i
me
i
tell
know
you.
this stuff because I'm on a school site council. Like I said, I help
Let me
pass the
tell you what
rules
they.
for the
One of the
school.
things they said also. One of the things they also said was she's teaching white kids how not to hate black kids. You should really watch your kids. That's grooming. I'm like, wait a minute, what? Since when did you
No, that's not
teach kids not
grooming.
to hate
that's
us?
that's showing a kid respect, morals. That's being a mentor. Like, that's showing a kid how to be a humanitarian, like how your thing says.
Exactly. And then
Humanitarian.
here's the thing. Look what Kay said. I in my live streams, not only do I encourage the kids to give their parents their phones, I tell them that you should not keep no secrets from your parents. Because me being a child, growing up in the situations that I had, like I don't even a lot of people don't even know my history as far as abuse that happened to me, because I don't talk about it because there's children around. Do you feel me? Like I have
Right.
discernment between the difference between my big account that has 3.5 million followers and this account. You won't see me. Before, I had no choice. I had to get backup accounts, but when I did talk about this stuff, I had it on 18 plus. But I tell them to let their parents get the phone, take the parents to their phone, have their parents get on Roblox with them. It's not them trying to be in their business. They have to protect them. I
Right.
made a whole video telling them not to be in messages with adults, because there's not nothing for an
Hmm.
adult to talk about with a child. I tell them all
Right.
adults are good people. Even if you think I'm a good person, the other adult might be a bad person. I did all
Right.
that, and they took all the stuff that I did. I protected these kids for years. I still do. I will get upset and cuss people out
Right.
about kids, but
Yeah.
they took
I
that
mean,
and made that
that's
ugly.
that's all good. Like, and I tell a lot of parents myself. I tell them my daughter has a phone that I let her use. She takes it to school, and it's so, like, when she gets off of school. So if she doesn't see me in the parking lot in the front, she could call me and say, "Hey, Dad, where you at?" Well, I'm right here in line. I was running a little late, but I'm here in line. I'm at the very end. Walk to the tree, and it'll be closer. You know. So I give my daughter a phone. It's not her phone, and I tell a lot of parents, if you're gonna give a child a phone, tell them what the phone is for, and don't tell them it's their phone. Tell them it's your phone for them to use. And that's what I tell my daughter. I said, this is my phone, but you can use it for your safety, for your well-being, for emergencies. I said, I don't want you texting people on this phone. I don't want you calling people on this phone. I said, the only person who can call you on that phone, the only calls that come into that phone are mine. Everything else is blocked. So
Uh-huh,
the only person who could call her is me, my mom, my dad, and my brother. There's only and my girlfriend.
uh-huh.
There's only five people whose calls come into that phone. Everything else is blocked. it'll forward it to voicemail. And
So
and I got a parental
no,
guidance on the phone. I got the location on the phone.
yeah.
I could sound the alarm on that phone. So when I need to find her, let's say we're in a crowded area and she drifts off, I could sound that alarm and I could hear it because I know what sound I'm looking for. You
Also,
know,
I've
so
done live streams
so
about how to protect your kids on
yeah,
Instagram and on
yeah,
TikTok with those
yeah,
things. I've
yeah,
written two children's books, but I have to get the illustrations.
yeah,
I'm writing
yeah.
five altogether because I want to do one for Black children. Well, not just it's all children, but the representative in those. So I have the Black girl that I wrote that book about. I have a Latino boy. Now I have to do European, Asian, and the Native American. But people are like, no, don't do that. But I have so many followers that I want every race to be able to have a kid that identifies with the book. You know what I mean? But the
Right.
book is like so like the first one, a there was, basically there was a live stream with a dog, and it was like 100 people in the live stream, and the child was going through the live stream and their mom called them, so they were stuck in that live stream and they left to go see what their mom wanted. When they came back, they got out of the live stream, but they had like three messages. And the three messages were people that pulled them from that listing. This is also for adults to be aware of what happened. And when they pulled when she opened up their messages, they would try and talk to her. And she you know how kids try and be adults, she tried to handle it on her own and be like, I'm just a child. But the adult kept trying to talk to her, so she blocked him. But she couldn't block him before he got her location, and that's because they didn't turn off her location on her phone or whatever. And so when she went to school, the guy came acting like she was her dad. He was her dad to pick her up, but the dad was out of town, and the school already knew that because they prepared him because the dad usually picks her up. And so at the end, she's safe and everything, but the parent was like, why didn't you tell me about this? And the child was like, because you're really busy and you work. And I just thought I can handle it because it's really simple. And at the end, it tells parents how to turn off the locations, how to check their kids' phones, and how to talk to their kids about interactions online. That's
So so the child, I missed a little bit of it because I was replying to a text from one of my clients. But so the child had gave him the location
no, the
or
location of
shared
the
location
phone.
with him.
There, well, I don't know how that works. I gotta still figure that out because
Yeah.
I thought you had to turn off your location or else people can find you. I don't know how that works. Would the
Hmm.
child have to share their location for that
Yeah, yeah,
person to
yeah, yeah,
find you?
yeah. I think because locations are pretty discreet unless somebody is like a really good hacker. But even
Okay.
that takes some skill,
Well, then
to be
I
able to
need to
do
fix
that.
something. Yeah, I need to. I'm
Like
glad I
like
haven't published it yet.
yeah, like I don't know because my daughter's location's always on. My location's always on.
So
You know, I think
maybe it'll be like somebody.
it's done. There's people that do it by sending links, like these spoof links. So that's why when somebody sends me links
Oh,
on TikTok and messages, I don't open them. I tell them, like, some lady had sent me a link before, and I told her, hey, you know what? She wanted me to click on the link, and it was a GoFund or it was something to fund something, and I told her, look, I said, uh, thank you for being a kind person, the humanitarian that you are. I appreciate you sending the link. I said, but unfortunately, I cannot open links that direct me outside of TikTok for my safety. I
okay.
told her I don't click on links that take me outside of TikTok. Unfortunately, I won't be able to fund. I said because I fund my own personal thing that I do, and I help a community, um, outside of TikTok, and unfortunately I can't help you out in that matter. I said because I'm already. It was something for people of Palestine because I have some friends that are from Yemen, so I told her, I send funds to a link through them that I know and trust. So I can't help your cause. I said because I'm already helping a cause from the Middle East.
So I'm gonna have to
you know,
break it down.
and that was just it. But like, let's say a creepy dude sends a kid a link that directs them outside of that platform, and the kid clicks on that link. If there's a bug in that link that can help them find that location, like a specific to find their location, that's how that would work. So
Okay,
that's why outside links I don't click on outside links that people send me in messages.
I'll
I'm like,
switch
I'm
up the
sorry, I can't go there.
story. I'll switch up the story and make it seem like it's a game or something, where
Right.
he says something like click the link to earn Robux or something, because that's a lot of people
Exactly.
do
Yeah.
that. I'll switch
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Free click on this link and you'll get free Roblox. And like that'll cause a kid to click on the link for sure, you know? So
So I'll do that in
yeah,
the story.
that's crazy. That has me thinking because I mean I talk to my daughter about a lot of things. I'm pretty transparent with her. And like even one time, like I was telling my daughter because my daughter had just turned 8 years old, and she was a little bit more, you start to gain a little bit more consciousness that they understand things a little better.
Oh,
And when she was younger, I really had no worry about somebody else coming in and doing malice to her.
yeah,
So I had the conversation with her about your no square, and I grabbed a stuffed animal and I said, "Look, these are your no squares." And I pointed at the bear, right? And I said, "These are your no squares." I said, "If anybody ever touches you in these no squares," I'm like, and I used sticky notes. I was like, "Let me know, and I will take care of it
yeah,
because these are your private areas, and nobody is allowed to touch them." I said, "You shower alone." I said, "After you got a certain age," I said, "I stopped helping you shower." I said, "And I let your mom assist you in that." I
yeah,
said, when you were a baby, it was totally different. I said, but now that you're turning into an older girl, I said, I can no longer assist you. I said,
yeah.
these are things that your mom has to help you with or your grandmother's help you with.
I'm gonna
You
be
know,
honest.
I'm
I
your
have
dad.
all boys.
And
I have all boys, and I do the same. I did the same thing. When they got to a certain
yeah,
age,
yeah,
then
yeah,
their older brother would help them or their dad. It was
yeah,
like, or they have to do it by themselves because they have to. They're at a certain age, and I have special needs kids, so sometimes with special needs.
it's hard. Yeah, it's hard.
So I get what you're saying because and also you want to give them the example. Like you want them to
Right.
know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, exactly. Like what I want to show my daughter, because I have two daughters. I don't have no boys. So what I want to show my daughters is if your father can respect your privacy as to like your body, um, another man shouldn't cross that boundary. Shouldn't be
Exactly.
anybody else on this earth. Not me, not your uncles, not your grandpa. Nobody on this earth should cross that boundary as to see you nude taking a shower, even if it is, I mean, these are my kids, so the way I look at it is there's nothing wrong with it, but I want to show them that respect, that these are lines, these are boundaries that should not be crossed. But even when I was speaking to my daughter about these no squares, my because I'm a single dad, so unfortunately my daughter's mom, from my first child, passed away in a car accident. So so her maternal grandmother had told me, "You're robbing her of her innocence, this, and that." I said, "No, I'm actually not." I said, "These are conversations that I need to have with her, and I need to show her where these boundaries lie." I said, "Because if she only hears it from you," I said, "and she's not hearing it from her dad, how serious is she going to take this?"
Yeah, dads, I
I
agree with
said, I
that.
said, why should these conversations only be held with you? I said, what if you're not around anymore? Who is she gonna run to have these conversations with? I said, her father needs to put his foot down and set a boundary as well, and she needs to understand that her father isn't crossing these boundaries, so nobody else should. So I got a bunch of backlash about that, and then
It's just like
just
when
the other day,
men,
I
there's some men that hit their kids. And the thing is, I used to tell people, if you hit your children, what makes you think that when they get older, they're not going to think it's okay for someone else to hit them? Because you love them. And so why would they think if someone doesn't love them that hits them? Even if it's
right,
passionate, even if it's like, oh, I did it because we was in an argument. I'm one of those people where I'm not for the whole.
I did it because I love you. Yeah, I don't.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. And a lot of
yeah.
people don't understand. It's not that their
Right,
parents didn't love them. Their parents wasn't aware of the residual effects of all the stuff that we went through in our past. It's
right.
passed down. Because what happened when people didn't follow directions? They were hit. You know what I
Right.
mean?
It's learned behavior. So if somebody goes to that extent, like let's say your child has a significant other and that person's yelling, that person's beating them, it's learned behavior that was held in the household.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's learned
And a
behavior.
lot of
So
people stay in
what's learned in the house is shown outside a lot of times.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But I'm gonna
And like
go ahead and I am tired though to go. I
yeah,
love this
yeah.
conversation.
No, I got you. Yeah, I'm sorry to drag this on. It
Oh
always
no, you're
happens, you know.
fine.
So the conversation will spark up, but like just this is the last thing I'm gonna say. Like, I have a 1 year old now, and her mom, uh, when we're around each other, her mom will tell me like change your diaper, and I'm like no, I'm like respectfully, you're around, please change your diaper. When I go to pick her up and she's with me on my days off and my mom's at work, like there's nobody else to change her diaper. But when my mom has a day off and we're in the house, I'll tell my mom, hey, can you change her diaper? She's number two or she's number one. Respectfully, as a man, and them both being females, I'm like, change your diaper, please. And my mom will do it. My mom has no problem because she
Yeah,
understands. Because
not because you
my
think it's a
dad, my parents, yeah,
yeah,
because my parents had a daughter, and my sister, it was way before I was born. She was born deaf and with half a heart, and my dad didn't change her diapers, and my dad told us this, and so I go based off what my dad showed me. So I tell my daughter's mom, my 1 year old's mom, hey, like, respectfully, I'm a male. She's a female. You're a female. It's nothing against that. I don't want to change your diaper, but if she was born a male, I would change the diaper. But because you guys share the same organ or same reproductive organ, respectfully, you being the mother and you being around, I think it would be fair if you change your diaper or if you have your mom change your diaper. Like I wouldn't expect you to have your brothers change her diaper in front of me. I would tell them, hey, you know what? Back up. Hey, you, please change your diaper. You
yeah.
know, now if they were babysitting her and there was nobody else to change the diaper and I'm at work and my daughter's mom's at work, who else is gonna change a diaper? There's certain things that have to be done to be done. Like I was saying, when
Let's
when I'm off,
reintegrate. Let's
yeah,
reintegrate this, 'cause I think they don't understand why you're saying that. He's saying that he is respecting a woman's person. He's not saying that
exactly.
he's not gonna do it because he's a man. He wants his daughters to understand that if the father respects their person, then any man on this planet should respect their person, especially if the father does. He's giving an example.
Right. Like I don't say that I don't completely not change her diaper. Like I'm saying, when it's my days off and I have her here with me, I change her diaper because who else is gonna do it? Is she gonna change her own diaper? No, I don't think so. But when the mother's around, respectfully, for me and for my daughters, I want them to understand that, you know, if your father doesn't cross these boundaries as to see your personal space or to help you wipe and clean your personal space, no other man should be touching these personal spaces.
And
And
I
that's just the way I was raised, and that's how it's always been in my families. The men
I respect that.
don't really the men don't really change the daughters' diapers. It's always the mom, the female, the grandmothers. And when it's the male, a little boy, the men then go ahead and step in because it's just out of respect. Um,
I mean,
that's just what we base it off of.
to be honest,
It's nothing to say like.
mhm. To be honest,
It's
my
nothing to
kids,
say like. Yeah, go ahead.
when they're around their when they're around their nieces, when they have an accident, they don't do it. They bring them to me. You know what I mean? Because they're girls.
Right.
You
Right.
know, there's something
Right.
they don't. But their dad, their dad will keep them on the weekend, and he has to do that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But
Right. Exactly. When
when
it
he's
has to be done and there's no one else to do it, yeah, we're gonna step in.
they know how
But
he knows how to do it. But if I'm there and getting the hair done, now if he has to do it, it's gonna look a hot mess, and I've seen it. But
yeah.
they'll ask me. You know what I mean? There's things that the women do with the women. You know what I mean? And I'm not. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not all about that women live thing other than getting paid the same amount of money and being able to work. But I would rather be a housewife than work. I'm gonna be honest. But I still
Hey,
get
I
where
don't
he's
blame you.
coming.
I I would like to be a stay-at-home dad.
My son's father, he let me do that for like years. He let me do it for years, but then I got bored. But I went to college when he let me do it, and I had more
Man,
time to be with
don't
my
let me be a
kids.
stay-at-home dad. I'll go crazy.
But I did get bored.
I'll drift off.
It's beautiful though. But he's from Africa,
Yeah.
and he really did allow my kids don't even know that the um the things that happened when they were kids, like me being at those events, me going to teacher conferences, me being there to make them a snack when they got home, picking them up from school every day. That's something that other kids didn't get a chance to do. And I thank him all the time for
Right.
allowing me to do that when we was together. He allowed me
Right.
to do
It's a nice luxury for a child to have that because not everybody gets that.
that.
Not
Yeah.
everybody gets a mom for the remainder of their life, of their childhood life. Not everybody gets a mom to come home to and smell fresh food when they get off of when they get off of school.
Yeah.
I handle a lot of that. When my daughter gets off of school, it's my day off. She comes home to food cooked already. Dinner's already made. When she gets off of school, she comes home and I make dinner. Same thing for the baby. I always make her, vegetables over the stove and stuff like that. Mashed vegetables or steamed vegetables. So not everybody gets that luxury. My daughters see it from me. I give them that from me, and it's nice to have a mom that does that. My mom busted her ass working two jobs and still coming home in between to make dinner for us, as kids. But we had our dad. My parents have been married like kind of happily. They got their ups and downs, but I was raised in a house with both of my parents. A lot of the kids in my neighborhood, they didn't have both parents. We got made fun of,
Because
and
you have both your
my
parents.
mom screaming out the window saying that dinner's made, and we got made fun of for that. But over time growing up, I realized they were laughing at their pain because they didn't have that
Yeah.
luxury.
Let me tell you, that
It's
made me
okay.
that made me think of
So
something. My oldest son was really good at sports. And you know the moms that would run next to the kids when they're in football, running with the football in their hand to the goal or whatever.
yeah,
I was one of
yeah,
those
yeah,
moms.
yeah.
So I would always
That's
yell.
right.
I yell his name because I was the only one at his games, my oldest one. And his friends just make fun of him. They'd be like, nah, your mom's yelling your name. Wave at your mom. And so my son came to me and he said, Mom, why do you do that? And I said, because I'm the only one here and I don't want you to think that you're alone. So after that, I said, but if you don't want me to do it, let me know. Cause I always gave my kids a choice. And he was like, "No, I'm good." And so after that, I heard him, I seen him, and they was teasing him. And he said, "I don't care. That's my mom," because he
Right.
understood. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love my
And
babies.
you only man you only get one mom. You
Yeah,
only get one biological mother, and if she's in the picture, you only get one biological father. And if they're both in the picture, I mean, it's a luxury to have because not a lot of people have that. especially like growing up in a low income community. Not a lot of people in low income have both parents or
Yeah.
both surviving parents at that. Some people, not everybody has that luxury. So like as I grew up, I'm really appreciative. Like I love my mom to death for always coming home and making dinner for us. You know,
Yeah.
even though we had both parents, my dad was never the one to cook, and
Yeah.
even now, like I'll cook food and my dad will be like, "Oh man, you got something for me, son? Like you got something for me, my boy?" And I'll look at him, I'll be like, "Man, not once have you ever like." There was times where he flipped the egg for us, But I tell him, man, not once did you ever wake up in the morning and make us breakfast, and you were out of work for a little bit, for a couple of years.
Mhm.
You were out of work for a little bit because my dad ran the streets, and he did some things that I can't say on TikTok or speak
Yeah.
about in person because there's no statute of limitations for it. But
See,
my dad,
my dad and
my
mama.
dad he was always home. He was always home a lot, and I laugh at him. I'm like, man, I said, you did not make us dinner a handful of times like mom. I said, but you know what? I said, go ahead, you can have some, bro. and like with my dad, our relationship is kind of like how a relationship that I have with my brother. We curse at each other, we laugh, like we'll call each other names, and like it's that kind of relationship.
But see, you know what?
But like
My
it's my
dad.
brother.
So my dad and my mom was together. They was married up until the day he unalived, but they separated when I was 9. But my dad, he still was around. He was like, he's family. He never cussed in front of me. He never hit me. He never raised his voice to me ever. And that's the example that he gave me for the type of man I wanted to be with, which is weird because I'm not trying to associate that, but he showed me that men didn't have to cuss you out, didn't have to put their hands on you. My own father loved me unconditionally, no matter what mistakes I made, no matter what greatness I did. My dad loved me, and here's the funny thing about it: in my city, my dad was known as the dancing grandpa. And then I get older, and now the world knows me as the dancing grandma. Isn't that crazy? I flipping love my
Yeah.
dad, man. I was a daddy's
That's
girl.
funny. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
funny.
that's my daddy. He danced all
That's
the way up
funny.
until the day he unalived. I swear to goodness, and he was a kind heart. His mother and father was preachers. Well, his father was a preacher, and his father's father, I don't know where that man is, but I can't find him. I can't figure it out. So during my journey, I wish I could actually focus on my dad's family, because the grandma's the one that came from Barbados. The dad, them guys are the ones I'm trying to find that has the last name Bundy. You know. Well, actually, Captain on Common Sense, everyone's the enemy at this point. I don't think we can say anybody specifically is. You stay on in life, just be talk. That isn't that what we're supposed to be doing? Talking. This is one of my haters, but
They want you to they want you to dance. They want you to
apparently,
dance.
yeah. Let me tell you, I done got to
But
the
all
point
right.
where I don't even want to dance no more. I just do makeup and video games. When I do dance, it's very rare. They gotta get some better dances out there. I'm not feeling these new dances.
Hmm.
We are our biggest obs because we come on here saying the craziest things to people, and we're just hurting ourselves ultimately. But yes, I'm a rest, and I'm gonna go ahead and get on. You said it's called In the Hood.
Yeah, it's called In the Hood.
Okay, I'm gonna get in the hood. I'm gonna get in. It's in the hood. I'm just. Is it the or the the?
In the DA.
Oh, okay. All right, all right. I'm from the Midwest. I'm
In
from
the
the
Hood.
West. In the hood. Okay, my people gonna probably be like, "What is this?" But we're gonna do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
and and the good thing about that is there is pew pews and stuff like that, but there's no color when you pew pew
Oh,
somebody.
okay, okay,
So
good. So
yeah,
that's not a violation.
it's It's pretty child friendly. Yeah, it's not a violent game. Like, I mean, you punch people, you kick people, you can pick people up like after they're knocked out for a little bit and drag them to your house and lock them up, and they can't get out because you got the key. But
Oh
it's a pretty
wow.
good game. Yeah, you could
I'm gonna try that out
you beat
tonight.
up
That's what we do.
ATMs and cash registers, and money flies out. You go to the casino and beat up the casinos. There's police on there, so it's a pretty fun game.
Real,
It's a
I'm
pretty
saying
fun game.
Ice Queen, Ice Queen, Ice Queen. Have an accent, Ice Queen. And Trayvon or whatever your name is, tell her to come and do it. Like, I'm not scared of nobody. And I'm African American. I'm a minority person. All we learned how to fight growing up. I'm just saying. They always say that stuff that, like, I don't know why these young people, the first thing they go to is like fighting. We taught you how to fight. We're the ones that taught you how to fight. So don't come here talking about someone said they gonna slap me. I hope they try. I hope they attempt. Please, I adore you. Please, they be doing too much.
But all right, Granny,
All right.
I will let you go because if I stay on here, I'm gonna keep bringing up just random little
I
conversations because
know, right? Me
you could
too.
hold the conversation. Yeah, yeah, good conversation. But
Thank
I don't see
you.
you as a racist. I mean, you're all right. You're funny. You know, you're cool.
Thank
You're
you.
not my enemy. You know,
I appreciate that. I
yeah,
really
you're not
do.
my enemy. But
Yeah,
but
when
yeah,
we
I'll
first
let you go so you can
met,
enjoy your streaming.
I'm glad that when we first met, we didn't beef. We just talked to each other, and it was there. I'm glad.
Well, I sensed, I sensed that you wanted to beef with me, and then I clicked on your profile. I said 3 million followers. I said she could cast me away with all her followers. I said I'm
But you
good,
know what?
so I dropped. I was like, I'm good, I'm gone. I said, man, he told me to leave it alone. He said leave it alone. Okay, hey, Granny Coy, he said to leave it alone. It's done. Like I'm not beefing with you. And you were like, you scoffed at it. You said, oh, because Manny told you to leave it alone. And I was like, I think it's the best thing in my interest to just leave it alone.
Yo,
It's done and over with. It's old stuff. I said
that
I
is
did
so,
that not knowing who you were. Like, so I'm not beefing with you. So
it's all
that's why I
good.
dropped and I didn't come back.
That's
Yeah.
so funny. And I'm glad you said that because the thing is, people, they think that, right? When they're like beefing with me. But then it's like, I tell them all the time, I'd be like, yo, I would never do that to anybody because I know that I can do a video on my own page and for everybody that don't even know the situation, people that like me will not like somebody. I'd rather like me and Manny and all the other people. I'd rather keep it on the back pages. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't well,
I
I
get
can't
you.
imagine. I had a million people be mad at me for something that people made up. You know what I mean? And it was just like,
Right.
oh my gosh, yeah. I don't, yeah. But that's funny that you said that. Though.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I don't got that many. I don't got that many. I don't got an army behind me. I got 2,000 followers, and half of them never even joined my live. Not even a quarter of them. So, because I don't ever go live on my own thing, so people don't know me like that to go live.
They be seeing
I
you.
was like,
You
yeah,
just
I
don't
don't.
see them. They'll come through
Well,
and
no,
see.
on my personal live.
Oh,
So when I host a live, I like because I don't host lives about anything really. Like I used to go live and it was just me cutting hair or me sitting down in the barber chair when it was slow, or me like drawing on my iPad. But I mean, I'm not consistent, so people don't always come by, you know, because I'm not consistent. I'm not in the algorithm, and I host lives about just all kinds of random different stuff. Like I said, either me cutting hair, me sitting down, or me drawing. So I don't allow the algorithm to pick up on just one specific thing. So
do you want to know
yeah,
how to get?
I don't ever go live on my own.
So when you're doing your hair, right? When you're doing the hair, you're cutting the hair. You do a story and you do a video. You can do a live event, and then
Yeah, I've
people.
seen that. Yeah, I know about that. Yeah.
Yeah, because when I
Yeah,
go live,
I seen that, and it's like you tell them, I'm gonna go live at 1 p.m. Watch me do this haircut, and you constantly do that, and then people will be like, "Oh, he's gonna go live for cutting hair," or, "Oh, he's gonna go live about this," and
Yep.
da
And
da
when
da da
you're
da.
doing
Like,
it,
yeah, I've seen that.
make sure you play the trending song that's on TikTok. So if there's a trending song, like let's say that Usher has a trending song, then play that song when you're starting your live, and it'll pick up that algorithm for people that listen to that sound, and they'll just come through. It'll just be on people's
Ah,
FYPs.
okay. Well, you see, I didn't know about that. Like, I know a little bit about social media and stuff because I do social media managing, and I do
Oh,
video and photography. So I know a little bit about that stuff, but I don't bring it up into my own personal thing because I don't want uh yeah, I don't really care about the following or like
yeah,
the fame or the exposure or stuff like that. I'm a pretty simple person.
yeah.
Just as long as I'm making my money outside of TikTok, I'm okay. But I mean, it'd be nice to gain earnings off of social media, but it's not really something I want for me because I like to be in the
You can
background.
when
I'm a
you do
camera guy.
that, you can leave a legacy for your kids. Because what happens is, let's say that you're doing it now, right? Like for me, example, if something was to happen to me, my account for my kids would be worth more on YouTube, Instagram, and here than it would be for me. So there's so much traction that they would get just for posting, because people would want to see my kids. Also, let's say there's nothing that happens to me and I get older, my kids, they have their own interests. Maybe one wants to be a video game player, maybe one wants to be an artist or an author. They can utilize my page to get traffic to their businesses. That's how these family businesses start on TikTok. So it's like you're
Of
giving it to
course.
your kids as well. It's a legacy that you're leaving
Yeah.
beyond. Hmm.
Hmm. Definitely.
But
But
okay,
I'll let you go because now we're drifting off into another conversation.
right?
Sorry to cut you short, but yeah, we'll talk again more.
Yeah,
Talk again more.
we
I'll jump
will.
on
I
again next.
appreciate this.
Yeah.
All
All
right,
right.
y'all.
You have a great
See
night. Thank you for having
y'all.
me up.
Attention to base. You'll see that they had malice against the Bells. They were shooting them, gunshot, buckshot all in them. They was
It was a Bell Holocaust. For real,
yeah,
bro.
yeah. They was literally destroying the Bells using dynamite on them. They have them all stacked up. You can see the gunshots all in the and the buckshots all in the Bells. I'm like, well, what did them Bells do to you know? to the
Yeah.
hell. Why they so egregious against the bells? And then I thought about it. Tone and frequency. What if it was used to control them?
Yeah. You just gotta really question that shit.
Because you can clearly see the world fairs and all the old pictures disconnect a lot of the history, and it just does.
Man,
It just disconnects it. And
the world fairs is so new. And look, dog, I'm in DC. I'm in Washington, DC. When I go in town, I'm in the suburbs. When I go in town and I really pay attention to them government buildings, it's like I look at that shit totally different now, man.
Mhm.
Like the Capitol building is a crazy, crazy structure, man. But
Mhm.
they have the same type of structure all over the planet.
Right.
The Capitol building is everywhere, dog. Everywhere in every state in America.
I think the Vatican was a research facility that we ran. That's what I think the Vatican is. Or old Tartarian research facility. I think that they use the content over there for research.
I want to figure that shit out, man. I want to figure that shit
look,
out so bad.
Midnight just said Fallout 76 they coming out the ground. What's over in Scandinavia, Turkey, Transylvania, all that shit over there? Big ass giant underground complexes and old fucking castles. These were research facilities. If you're an advanced society, you're not gonna be blowing up your backyard, you know. And if you're building megalithic structures and pyramids, you're using either frequency or fucking magnetism. And we all know crystals magnify frequency. And where are crystals at? Underground. I mean, it's just that simple. You know, magnets. Where you gonna get the material, the raw material for magnets? You gonna look for the mineral underground. Advanced mathematics. You only using one of the two.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, it's just simply sitting in your face. You can clearly see that these people are advanced. You can't build shit like that.
You know, man, it's like we have really been moving in a direction where we have been trying to follow our high school education in Hollywood. And now that the information age has allowed us to.
They put it, you know, when you think about where did they come up with these concepts for these blockbuster movies like Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Transformers, and you know, a lot of people ignore these movies, you know, because of all the entertainment, you know, the action, but they don't pay attention to the dialogue. Why the fuck are
No, that's why I talk about Game of Thrones, bro.
Where's Worthy go? You right about Thrones.
Game of Thrones tell a lot of stuff.
Game of Thrones tell the truth.
They talk about them bloodlines, like when they were mixing and
it showed the ice wall at the end. It showed the ice wall.
Yeah.
And them things coming over the ice wall. You right.
And bro. I'm not even an ice wall guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? You understand? Like my information extended from like the cave dwellers and like the people over the ice wall were blue-eyed devils, right? This shit matches me. And the wildlings were people that were still walking on all fours, and they were sleeping with animals.
Okay, here, let me back him up. Swarthy, can you give me the big screen for a second?
So when I really started paying attention
I gave myself a big screen.
I said, damn. And let me tell you this. Let me tell you the biggest jewel that the Game of Thrones got is calling the discarded people, the people that they sent to prison to guard the wall. They were called crows. They were called crows. And they said, you gotta take the black. They said, you gotta go take the black. Those were black people. So when people say that we're not black, because black is a status. It's a status.
You know, in Game of Thrones, at the end, you really can't tell who really supposed to be the seat of that who's actually supposed to be there. But it's really, in my opinion, the bastard.
Yeah.
The who?
The bastard son.
No.
Yeah, but check this out real quick.
He's the only one with the true line. Now everybody else is gone except John. Now I ain't talking about Jon Snow.
Yeah.
I'm talking about
but what I'm saying is this. Yeah, well, what I'm saying is the true bastard, yeah. But the thing is that you have the crows, and then you have they were going by the hair. Like you had black of hair, you had red of hair, you had blonde of hair. Like those are all the recessive people.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you stick it to the movies, check out what's going to come out May 10th. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. It takes place 300 years after War for the Planet of the Apes. Y'all don't find that quite interesting? It takes place 300 years after War for the Planet of the Apes.
Yep.
See how they put stuff in the movies and you just kind of ignore it? I tell a lot of people to go watch the whole movie series over again and just ponder that. You know, what's his name? What's dude's name here? I'll show it to y'all real quick. Woody Harrelson. He did a whole interview on it. And I actually got it. And he talked about how he hated the movie. Where is it?
Woody.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson. Yeah, it's right here. There we go. Or there we go. Woody Harrelson. He complained something about War for the Planet of the Apes. Woody Harrelson reveals that he would have done the movie differently in War for the Planet of the Apes. You understand what I'm saying? You see what he said? He would have done this movie differently. He didn't like his role in it. Now, if y'all watch it, you know Woody Harrelson is a good ass actor. I wouldn't watch it again. The only thing that I found that he would change in it is that conversation between him and Caesar. You understand? Go listen to that conversation.
He said he had to do what he had to do. If he didn't, they're gonna pretty much take over them. We got to dumb them
Remember,
down.
he talked about the virus that would overtake the humans and make them go feral and lose their cognitive ability for about 300 years. Will be your cattle until we come up with until our systems come up with a virus antibody to combat it. You know, and now look at that, and look at the time span, 300 years. What took place, they claim, for 300 years? Slavery. Now, look at the time frame from 1776 to 1960. How many years is that?
I ain't gonna do no math, man. I'm smoking.
Man, that's about 300 years, bro. It's about 300 years. Now, if you advanced enough, this is just a theory. If you're advanced enough to build megalithic structures, which is advanced mathematics, then you're advanced enough to dabble in bioengineering.
You know,
sometimes the truth might just be sitting in your face.
You know, another one. Did y'all watch Rick and Morty?
Mm-hmm.
And Rick and Morty, this one episode, like when he was going to another multiverse to try to find another Earth, and he went. It's actually pinned on my page. Like he went to that Earth, and he was like, Rick Morty said, "This isn't Earth. It doesn't even have an Africa." And Morty said, "That's YT people problems." That's it. Just think on that. What are you saying on that?
All right. This old boy Sinister right here. He one of the X-Men villains. He's a Victorian scientist. Victorian. Late 1800s, early 1900s. Bioengineering and genetics. Why this link to the 1800s in bioengineering and genetics? Frankenstein, Dracula.
So Prince Brad, like you really think that there was something crazy in the 1800s?
Oh hell yeah! You don't see it?
No. I'm not gonna say I'm with you, but I do pay attention to something happened in the 1800s because that's when America's history really starts. Like they skip from slavery to that. If you ever notice that, they don't really have a chronological order.
And Ben Franklin speech 1751. That's what changed. When they had it, he said that there was not enough YT people here, and the only ones that actually was here was the Saxons and one other group, and they needed to get more people. That's when all those 22 million came in from Ellis Island and all them other places. They had to get the numbers up.
Now, but also you got to look how they constantly keep linking the 1800s to advanced technology and all that shit. Take, for instance, Van Helsing. He worked for the Vatican over there, and it took place in Transylvania. I truly believe those were our research laboratories and institutions over there. Okay, they got too many underground facilities. That's where an advanced society would test all their experiments and all this shit. You got to remember, when you experimenting and testing, you're going to cause some damage. You know, some shit gonna go wrong. I can't have you doing this in our backyard. Go raise that continent over there. We need the minerals and shit anyways. If you moving, think about it. If you're moving megalithic structures, you can lift a continent. If you can lift that much weight, you can move continents. And then y'all talk about how Africa is breaking apart. Yeah, because they lifted that shit up from out of the sea. Now it's breaking back down. I mean, don't it look like a patchwork continent pieced together? All kinds of different terrains.
So what you saying is they lifted it and made it?
Yeah, for that, for a resource. Everybody over there is bioengineered.
I think I can kind of agree with that a little bit. I think Africa was a laboratory. That's why you got different types of people, like the Dogons, some of they fish people, and then you got the ostrich feet people. Then you got that group that be swimming in the ocean. You know, them ones that got like an extra spleen or some shit where they can be up under the ocean. They spend most of their life under the
3
ocean.
minutes, yeah, about 3 minutes underwater. Yeah,
Them ain't regular. Them ain't us.
right.
Them ain't regular melanated people.
Say it again.
I done said. Nah, I don't know about
Gotta see that Netflix sweet tooth. They give us that.
So have you heard of the ostrich feet people in Africa?
Bruh, I don't care about no ostrich people right now.
Oh, he don't believe it. You don't believe it.
I'm tired of y'all, you know, with the whole they subhuman. That's a lab. That's a
laboratory.
Listen, Tahid, I'm sorry.
Hey, you gotta leave your feelings at the door when you come up here, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, what you mean? I've been chilling.
Until you heard that.
That's crazy, though. That's crazy.
You were chilling until you start talking that, and now you're not chilling. Chill out,
bro. If they build it,
said some crazy things, but that was crazy.
No, that's not crazy. If you're building a megalithic structure,
I gotta interject and just say, no, that's
how they building the megalithic structures, bro? Hold on, and how they building the megalithic? How are they lifting those megalithic structures and putting them together so precisely if they're not an advanced society?
Hey, well, we were advanced society. We went reverse. They tried to put us into a caveman state.
Because I believe we fell sick, and it took us time to get to the cure. I believe we were all in Mississippi and Louisiana and all down there because the red clay is down there and all them herbs and shit. I believe that was the medical research area, and we all went down there to get healed. Because after that, we spread back out through the country. Why did we go to the places? Why did our families go to the places they went to when they left from Mississippi? I mean, we spread out and went in all types of different directions all through the country. Why? Why them places?
You asking about Great Migration of Negroes?
No, I'm just looking at actions. You know how when at first we was all down south, and what's down there? The red clay, a lot of herbs and stuff to cure the sick. You know what I'm saying? Then we see after a period in the early 1900s, we all start leaving out of Mississippi and Louisiana and all down there where all that red clay is.
In the late 1900s.
Right.
Oh,
1940s.
they left Mississippi because you know why they you already know why they left Mississippi.
I know I'm dealing with a criminal that's covering up the real facts. See, they do things like do the census and then won't release it for a number of years. Why are you holding on to the census? Because you're trying to be able to cover up what the fuck you're doing.
They went west. I got some people that went left Mississippi. They went north.
Right. Why?
Because them places were less inhabitable right back then. You know, before like most of the states that were built up back then was the South.
But when you go all over this country, you see mounds and pyramids and all this other stuff.
You know,
so
are you talking about the construction of this like the like?
See, we can clearly see that.
No, you're trying to talk about the mounds and stuff that exist like over here on the southeastern part of
they're all over the place.
The natives inhabited them areas before that.
Can I ask you a question? Why are you stuck on their literature? They are criminals.
That's not their literature. They inhabited that area.
I know they. I don't see that.
That's where the colonies are literally built up. Like
no, I don't see that.
Native sports. When you get through, let me get the screen. I'm gonna show this fool something.
No, you keep trying to make Jackie Chan and them cousins.
No, that's literally where they had their civilization.
Bro, if they was here, they would have a written alphabet, not their language in English.
No, hold on. I ain't talking about that, but I'm talking about when they left Mississippi, went up north. Them places were still.
Dude, they was never here. Only us here.
Own cities. Like if you go to places like Detroit, where a lot of black people did go through after migration, like
it was already there.
The city was already there. All that shit was already there.
That's sad. That's sad.
Here, let me hit him with this little fact. Let me hit him with this little fact.
Ask y'all people why they left and went to New York. Like,
ask them people. Ask Native Americans why they have never produced anything. Like, stop telling us. Like, stop putting the onus on us to.
Dude, the United Nations. Dude, they're not
why people left, and there's a reason why they have that terrain. Like I was giving you that, like giving you this, and that's not a history fact.
And family gonna go home when they get sick. You know what I'm saying? You gonna go back home to mama house and all that other stuff too. I was looking at that. I'm like, okay, if I get sick, I'm gonna go back and see. It's the things they don't talk about. They don't talk about yellow fever, black death, chicken pox, all these things that they talk about that wiped out the natives. It really wasn't the natives. It was really us. And it was one main thing, and we had to catch it. Okay. Because they came from this is what I see. I see the Moorish Empire collapsing over in Europe in 1492. And then all of a sudden they over here. What if them over there ran over here to get cured and it caught on over here? You see what I'm saying?
It was all because it was wars going on.
But for civilization, hold on. But civilization is collapsing. Wars are going to break out over resources because you're not delivering shit like you used to.
But what I'm asking, what disease was there before 1492 that wiped out half? See,
that's the whole point. When they can't really tell you how the Moorish Empire collapsed over there in Europe. But you can see catacombs underneath Europe with skeletons, millions of skeletons underneath there. Now, none of us have never taken time to go over there and measure who those skeleton heads are. But I believe that's the black nobility and the black people that were over there in Europe ruling. That's who I believe is underneath. That's because they got tours of that stuff. Why do you want to go tour miles and miles of catacombs of skeletons? They got them all shined up, use them for decorations, and I mean, you should go check the pictures out. It's deep. You can get a tour. You can literally catch a flight, go take a tour of that stuff. That's not their people. That's our people that fell sick. The black nobility that wants you.
Right. And that's what this is part of what I'm
They
doing
go
here.
sick to the diseases and stuff. So
So this is a map, Eastern Northern America, see the year 1763. This is why all this stuff was happening. But this is a book, federal Indian policy. This shit, man, it tells a lot. But anyway, this map is showing, like the area here, this is Indian territory, how they pushed, goddamn, can't say it, Indian country. So this area, if you see these specks here, that's this here is the British territories. Then you got the French territories here. No, the British territories here, I'm sorry. This is the British territories at this time. So that's Canada and all the area over there. It has some Indian counties here, but this is the 13 colonies. Florida. And you see that was French territory. They were all fighting, man. Over here, this was the Spanish territory. When the Spanish was coming up, French was over here, Europe coming down here. They pushed us here. But let me see. It's one state, and this here tells all about the treaties.
It's too much power being shifted at one period of time, a short span of time. So that means something hit the ruling class, because all of a sudden you see all this calamity, just everybody just moving.
And that's what they're saying in this book. Also, it's talking about how the Christians, it was a religious war. It wasn't about race. The Christians was fighting with the French and trying to take their territory. The French came here and to other places.
So quick question. Now, didn't George Washington write in one of his letters, if I can recall it, he said, the late Congress bestows this power upon me. Am I correct? Isn't that one of his quotes? The late Congress bestows this power upon me, and he became president.
Yep.
Late means deceased. Y'all know that, right? So what killed off the Congress for him to be bestowed into that position? Was he one of the helpmates that helped them, and he switched places because they passed away from the sickness?
But he was melanated too, though, and he had white slaves. He had white slaves.
See, but then when you investigate that more, you got to figure out. You said he had white slaves.
Yep. Explain that shit.
Well, that would make sense when you in a powerful position. You don't have some slaves. I mean, but we know that it was their slavery. It wasn't ours, and they just reversed it. It was their freedom in 1865, not ours.
Right.
Right. Everything bad started happening to us. Our towns getting flooded, burned down. Look. They went straight after Tulsa as soon as they got a chance.
Yeah, bro, but you know damn well it wasn't nailed in reverse in 1865.
Say what?
You know it wasn't in reverse in 1865.
Yeah, it was. I can actually show you a picture of prisoners of war and one of the Slavic slaves sticking with her master.
Okay.
So they slip up and leave little mistakes like that, and then we catch it and take pictures of it.
Abraham
Like me show it to you.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Benjamin Franklin, all these people was orphan trained kids. And I got the article to show it's like this shit deep. All on white chief slaves. They was part of the I fellows.
Yeah, can you give me the big screen just real quick so I can show him the Slavic slave sticking with her American master? Now, look, Junior, take a look. That's a Slavic. See the black man in the front? That American Indian in the front with that that nightclub hat on and that long coat jacket on. See, right behind him, that's a Slavic woman.
Oh my
That's
God.
his
Look what you
slave.
showing me. You don't know what a slave driver is in the field?
You see some slaves there,
Nah,
man.
so like, nah, the
Hold
master
on,
gonna
hold on,
stay
hold on, hold
outside
on, hold
for
on,
his
hold on.
slave.
Hold
You
on,
know what a
stop,
slave driver
stop,
is.
hold on, slow down. Do you see slaves?
Yeah, first off, a
Do
slave
you see
is
slaves?
I guess, yeah.
What says these people are slaves? Tell me.
I have no idea really. They're just people
What?
carrying
Because
trucks
they're in
back
a
from the hill.
field?
They look like
Because
they're on the plantation and looks like they have a slave driver.
where's the slave? Okay, now let me. You say slaves? Slaves. Them an awful lot of slaves, and I be worried about my slaves getting away. Where the chains at on them? Why they wearing regular street clothes? Why he got a vest on and his pants tucked in? Why the little boy standing there just looking wondrously off into the field? Why people over here got on vest, suit, jacket?
Oh, bro.
Got on. They got on. Hold on. We
This
looking at the
one
picture,
picture
bro.
out
You
of
no,
thousands.
young brother. We slow down. Stick with me. I know I'm burning some brain cells right now. But look at them people in the background. They got on dresses, bro. Them city dresses. Them ain't no damn slaves. What is a slave doing with a 3-piece suit on in the middle of a field, bro? Make this make sense. Why this slave got on a long coat? They look like prisoners of war being transported, and that's they stuff on top of their head. And this Slavic woman stuck with her master. Because that's clearly a Slavic right behind him. See, be real. Your eyes don't lie to you, bro. The word's real. The words, literature mislead the shit out of you. Oh, yeah, they're slaves, but they don't look like slaves. What are you doing wearing city clothes? If I show you the other picture, man, it's a straight up player standing in it. You can clearly tell he ain't no slave. Would you like me to switch and show you the other version of this picture? Where you can see dude just standing there cooling, got his city slicker shoes on. I mean, I can show you that. And so you quiet because these people don't look like slaves. And you can clearly see that's a Slavic woman.
The white slave children of New Orleans. Explain that shit. He's not the slave. He's the slave master in New Orleans, in the South. Explain that shit.
Yeah, they slipped up with these little tidbits. They didn't expect us to go digging so deep.
So I ain't quiet now. You know,
Yeah.
he ain't trying to get this smoke.
Well, it's not that. It's just we burning up some mental synapses right now. It's kind of fucking with him. He doing that Matrix moment. Red or blue pill. He's sitting there shaking his head like.
He's like, but I like that steak, even though I know it's wrong. I know it's fake. I just want to get put back in. I want to taste that steak again.
I'm sorry. I believe that all sentient beings, that means thinking, breathing, communicating beings, deserve respect. But I'm sorry, the truth is ugly. She kind of like karma. Them some cold hoes. They don't give a fuck. They don't love you. You know, truth is like gasoline. If you ain't got no money, you ain't going no fucking where. I don't care how important you got to get there. So when it comes to the truth, you are looking at the highest form of bioengineering. How can you tell? Because they all have the same pigmentation, exact same. That's bioengineering. I'm sorry. We all have a variance of color, a shade.
So at the same time with the African slave trade, this was going on too, and we had quote unquote melanated or African slave traders and slave owners that was owning white slaves. Why y'all don't talk about this? Be quiet now. Well, you can hear a roach kiss on top.
Honestly, I can believe That more than I can believe us, because like I said, in modern times, it.
That's what they
So
do.
so how you gonna snatch? How you gonna come from a descendant? How you gonna be the descendant of people who got snatched up by the millions? But over here, it takes 6 and 7 of them and 5 and 6 squad cars to take down one person on foot. Make that make sense.
You're magical. You're a magical ninja.
But you all of a sudden you just easy to catch like bunny rabbits. 12 million people, bro. That's a lot of people to move. I could have understood maybe 100,000, but after like maybe I don't know, I'm just reaching here. 2,000 people would have kind of been an alarm gathering together, against you, the whole countryside, and all them villages coming up empty. You should have had they should have been having people run into every village and everything, talking about the strangers kidnapping people and let's go fight. And so
Not even that, Prince. The animals. What about the animals? I mean, they kidnapping them through all this with the animals there.
All the poisonous ass animals.
The animal alert everybody. None of this happens. When animals just sat back while all this happened.
Look,
the animals didn't bite them.
Chilling at a rally. Why was he so comfortable? That's what I want to know. Why was dude so comfortable? He don't look like he under any threat.
Right.
My boy got the Kango cock to the side. He chilling.
Mm-hmm.
Make this make sense. Right. Make this make sense for me, man.
That's an African?
No, this is just a regular, melanated person. He probably Saeed uncle.
Well, when you put people under duress, they'll do anything to survive, even turn sides.
Nah, bro.
Yeah, you will.
Look,
you got a lot of that going on right now.
Prince, before you go into a whole tangent, listen. This group came from England, not from white tea men, from melanated Moors. I can show you this same group in Philippines, just like this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure if we was to zoom in on some of these pictures, all of them dudes ain't white tea.
I believe you, and like I said, if you're dealing in a time of
dark hands,
see, you got to remember.
I want you, bro, to go see them dudes pop up and see how they go act.
Look, action speaks louder than words, and when you
don't cut it out.
What you talking about? You talking about go to one of these rallies? Nah, you gotta be a boule. You gotta be in handy, bro.
No. See, what you don't understand is if a civilization collapses,
ain't no understanding, ain't no understanding.
Why are you cutting me off? If a civilization collapses,
yeah, I got the kick, bro. Come on.
If a civilization collapses, it's gonna have royalty, okay? And that royalty can be forced to do things because these people are mentally unstable. You constantly see from their actions that they are mentally unstable. Remember, a whole bunch of them got together and screamed at little kids going to school. And we have footage of that. It was hundreds of them out there lined up screaming at little kids going to school. Do you understand how mentally unstable you got to be sitting there screaming? And these are their grandparents, bro. You understand? These people are mentally unstable. The 60s, they all should have been arrested in the 60s. Ain't none of them go to jail for none of that stuff. They shouldn't even be in power now. They're mentally unstable. And we're just stuck in a traumatized state that we all just, who gonna go first? I'm waiting for everybody to come to the same conclusion. That's the real truth. They mentally unstable. We can clearly see that.
White and black slaves.
Right.
Make this make sense.
Africans.
Make this make sense for me, Saeed. I'm trying to figure shit out. Why is it YT slaves and y'all never mention them?
Because they wiped that part out. Remember,
This from the Library of Congress. This ain't no bullshit picture where I just pulled it up off Wikipedia or some shit. Library of fucking Congress right there. Don't get quiet now. Now he can't hear me.
Yeah, they can't never explain this stuff. They can give you a whole bunch of that. Sit right back and hear a tale of a fateful trip. It started from a tropic port on board this tiny ship. Please don't make me sing that song, bro. That's what I think of every time I hear slavery.
Britain's white slaves in America.
Yeah. See, I believe we kept bioengineering and genetically modifying them until we got to this last batch. You know, that last batch of incubators.
You don't want none of this truth. Why you don't want none of this truth, Saeed?
Hey, I think that last batch was a bad batch. I'm for real, y'all. Somebody was like, "Ooh, what you putting that mixture with them?"
They were the garbage pail kids. The last batch.
Right. I think that last batch is what messed us up. Because then you start, after that last batch, you start seeing everything change. They doing light shows at state fairs. I mean, when you look at the old pictures of Coney Island back then, it looked better back then than it do now. And then it had better lighting back then. Why you tear that down? Go look at the pictures of Coney Island back in the early 1900s, and then basically towards today. You would have made better money, more money, just keeping it the way it was, and doing what did they call it when you constantly fix the stuff up? When you constantly go keep it up and don't let it diminish. I forgot what they call it. Restitution. What is the word for it? Renovation. They'd have been better off renovating Coney Island and paying money, keeping it like it was. Go look at the pictures. That don't make sense. And then you're going to tear down the World Fair? All that money? That revenue from having moving sidewalks and grand hotels and waterways, and you tore all of that down? You didn't charge money and keep it as revenue? Make this, and we skip over this when it comes to this history. Like that didn't happen. Oh, that wasn't there. We skip over them old footage of New York in 1906 and San Francisco, how the people are just aimlessly walking around. And in this big, vast city, you don't see not one picture of us. Ain't none of us working in the city. The camera is just moving through the city for a long period of time. People moving everywhere. Not one black person. Not one crossed through any of those trolleys, the streets. And I'm looking, I'm going, there are no black people in these videos. How do you have this many people moving around and you claim we was a slave race and nobody has any black indentured servants or anybody black working for them? There's no traces of this so-called slavery society that you would think they would have. You think you would see black people running through the streets doing menial work, you know, like carrying shit, boxes, pulling carts, something. You don't see them doing shit. Make that make sense. This is 1906. 1910. You ain't got no black people at these exhibits. Hey, that's the stuff I look at. Them pictures. Because that's the only thing that you can honestly see moving. That you can see with your eyes, not just read some shit. You know, it's cool. And a lot of people get mad at me because, you know, I throw that there. You know, it don't make you stupid. It just make you realize you're in a part of a fucking chess game. And you got to move the chess pieces around and realize what's real. is what I'm saying for certain. I don't know. It's just a theory that sticks with me like hell. And I'm trying to figure it out. Swarthy. Man, everybody done got quiet. Y'all know I get long-winded now.
Yeah, you do. You know that. I agree with you though.
Why they cover that up? Why you gotta dig so deep to find out about the white cargo?
They don't want to tell the truth, man. I'm telling you, man.
And who invented the fucking incubator? Who was running the fucking companies? Who owned them?
What's up?
I'm still trying to figure out who funded the trips for the 12 million Slavics come back and forth to America. Like, who was paying for all of this shit? What royal families? You know.
And still funding wars over here on this land.
I don't think they were paying for anything. I think they were using leftover resources and just running shit. Just fuck it. Hey, it's plenty of this shit here.
But they use the Papa Bull. So
Because there's no. I've been looking for a price. Who funded the fucking transatlantic migration for the Slavics? I can't find it. Do any of y'all know? Somebody had to pay for all of that. All those boats going back and forth, all that fuel, the people at the hospital and stuff, unless it was already there and they just decided to go ahead and take the places of the original people because they worked with them and they just did the shit. Because shouldn't it be a price tag? Who funded it?
Who funded all these, you know what I'm saying, Africans that came into this country. It's a lot of money that's not being explained. So I'm with Prince on that.
Right. I mean, come on now. That's a mass migration. Somebody should have been at the leadership of that, paying for that.
who got the most money in the world?
Yeah, but see, nobody's claiming it. So it's the little holes that they slip up on and they don't. You go, wait a minute, why y'all didn't write this in? Like they claimed the Arabians was trading slaves with the Europeans, right? But why are there no paintings of Arabians trading the slaves to the Europeans? I ain't seen a painting yet of some Arabians handing over some slaves to the Europeans, them exchanging some gold. Nothing. They painted everything else about slavery except that. I did a TikTok on it with SpongeBob music. What are Arabians? Excuse me. Have you seen any Arabians?
Who the hell is Kevin Cole? Where the receipts on who bought and sold slave in the world trade? Bro, the world trade got demolished in 2001. Make that make sense.
He's talking about in a world trade, I think, like as far as people trading people back and forth around the world.
Oh, you talking about worldwide? Oh, it's all kind of evidence. Hold on, watch this.
Hey, Salsa.
What up?
Why don't you slap him with your receipt about the world trade? Remember 1906? This is the first time from the deepest, darkest continent that the African has ever been to an English-speaking. Remember that one?
Oliver Cromwell. Yeah, Oliver Cromwell was enslaving Africans.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not Africans. He was enslaving Irish, sending them to Africa and stuff, and sending them to Barbados. And come on, man, these are the Irish people. They were sending the melanated Irish. Oliver Cromwell.
And you know, I mean, McKinney.
I was just looking at all the so-called Black Irish that been, you know what I'm saying, sent into Jamaica. And then that's what I'm saying. That's where they get that accent from, bro. Like it matches up with the That Jamaican accent matches up with that Irish, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Not Irish.
You know, I never did. I was younger. I wasn't thinking about it.
Here you go, Saeed. Bro,
Not
you don't
Irish.
know what you is.
It's not Irish.
It sound good. So Oliver Cromwell lying.
No, I ain't talking about Oliver Cromwell. I'm talking about the Jamaican accent.
He said he to himself he enslaved 300,000 Black Irish and took them to Jamaica and took them to all over the Caribbean, sold them into Barbados, sold them all in the West Indies.
Bro.
Hey, the ratio hit him on that.
Irie.
Hermes jumped off the live after ratio hit him about they was coming over there to Africa, stealing the taking the Africans, and that's why they speak Arabic and all this other stuff and practice Islam. Hermes got mad and dropped.
Throw me on the screen real quick. You put your receipt back up. The Black Irish of Jamaica, bro. They were sending Black Irish is over there, bro. You can take me down. I just wanted to show it. Like, this is what I actually.
You just never heard of it. Just because you never heard of it, don't make it true, bro.
Through Barbados to Jamaica, from Ireland.
So they went from Ireland to Barbados to Jamaica.
Bro, you looking at it just like everybody else looking at it. I don't know, like, bro. We not making this up. We don't just pull this out.
Hold on, I got him. It's real simple. Who do they refer to as booty?
I don't know, bro.
Yeah, you do. The melanated woman. Her booty. What goes with Irish? Booty. Where is me booty?
And then it says a West
Gotta
Indian.
go.
I don't have a choice, and I'm right.
And that's where a lot of that action is coming from, bro.
Right. The black woman is the only woman that they refer to as booty.
I heard you did.
You are tripping.
But what did Jamaica say? We feeling Irie, so Irie. You know
You
what I'm
don't say
saying?
that, Becky. You say, look at her butt. Oh, she got a nice butt. You know.
Oh, tripping.
What did you take?
You don't feel right saying a white girl got booty.
Represents something that code
You thought Irie meant something else.
and ancient spirits
What you thought it meant, Saeed?
for all living beings. It's because of her that identity came into this world.
Hey, don't get quiet now.
It's Ko's mother. Ko longs for the same thing we all do. Family.
I told him.
I find it strange and suspicious how he keep getting
Sounds
quiet.
like something you'd be willing to trade for.
You got to change the tape on your tape recorder.
Yeah, chicken. You got chicken adjustments, and
Okay.
I'm playing the game.
Okay. Oh, your bosses was talking to you.
No, I'm playing the game.
Hey, your boy Sutton hate talking to me and Blackwater. He run every time I ask him one question. What did Rockefellers and Rothschilds' money cover when they rewrote history? He get mad and run because it makes everything he's reading fucking allegory, subject to question.
Blackwater runs from the pound anytime I get on now because I go back to him talking about going to my CEO. He can't.
That was a power move, boy.
No, you be running from Blackwater.
And to me, with the explanation that
listen, Blackwater was
like
not
this.
on the panel with me.
Bro. We be giving you the opportunity to speak almost every time we go live, and then you be dropping.
Okay, so say, hold on. Let me explain something to you because apparently you don't know the situation with Blackwater and me. Because if you did, you wouldn't be talking about what you're talking about.
Yeah, he did a sucker move.
He did a sucker move, and Blackwater will never get on a panel with me, and when I'm able to speak, because he won't get on the panel with me, because I'll make him look like the agent that he is.
You had your opportunity.
Okay, so sorry, do you have what's going on with me and Blackwater?
No, I don't know.
Okay, so let me ask you a question then. Say if you know somebody who say you on TikTok and you don't like the information that a person is giving to you, and you know this person's manager at the job. And basically, if you don't stop doing what you're doing, I'm gonna tell my friend on you. Would you respect a person like that?
Oh, he told on you?
Would you respect a person like that?
Did he tell on you?
Would you, sir? That's a yes or no. Would you respect a person like that?
No, I don't respect tattletales. So did he tell on you?
He said yes, he did. Yeah.
My fault.
Well, he didn't tell.
He wouldn't told on you,
I
bro.
don't really think he knows him. I really don't even think he knows the CEO. But that's not the point. Would you threaten someone on TikTok about? And the only problem that you have with this person is the information that you have on TikTok.
Nah, bro. You know, shit. Threaten you or what? Like getting your job took?
Yes, threatening and saying that because he golfs with my CEO every so often. He says he went to school with him. That he knows him very well, and he knows. He actually, let me tell you also what he said. He said he knows my policies at my job and knows that the things that I speak about on the panels it would go against what my job.
All right, nah. So for example, here, real quick, you know, for a couple people, you'll come across people that you know or you'll know their folks, but I wouldn't go out my way to ever bother somebody's life off the internet. I mean,
well, that's the people that you hang around. That's all I gotta say.
That's your man's in them.
You talking about that's my man's and this is an app, bro. I don't take that shit seriously.
Well, he does.
Yeah, I can tell. Some of them do. Like I can tell. After this, you know, but it's like, you know, because it's heavy misinformation.
So that's the reason why Blackwater will never get on the panel with me, because I will always go to that to make people know exactly what type of man he is, and that's why I keep that my second pen on my page gonna stay up there about Blackwater. It's gonna stay there.
Oh damn! Don't get told on out here, man. That shit crazy.
Here's the thing: I don't care if I get told on. I'm a cybersecurity network engineer. I can get a job tomorrow making double what I make. I have no worries, my guy.
That shit weak as hell. You know.
What's weak?
Oh, getting told on.
Yeah, I agree with that. But that's the people y'all hang around.
Bro, this is an app. I don't hang around nobody like.
Yeah, well, you don't spend your time in there with the Justice Syndicate and I got videos of you I haven't put up yet. I'm still deciding if I am or not.
Bro, I don't give a fuck. Why is niggas
just saying it just shows your intelligence in some of the conversations we be in.
Bro, some of the conversations y'all be having, this shows y'all intelligent. Like, y'all don't be saying shit.
All right. Well, I'll make sure I tag you in it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Sahid, can I ask you a question, young bro?
No.
Are you mad?
Yeah, I know. Don't certain people majority of certain people burn in the sun?
Burn in the sun?
Yeah, get sunburn.
Like a vampire?
Well, don't a certain race of people get burned in the sun?
You send them into the heart of forces, how will they retreat?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, that's a sign of a clone. Artificial to the nature.
Sacrifice is
So you gotta reconnect with your five senses and what you see in front of you. I don't burn.
What?
You don't burn. Why is you burning? Because you not. Forget it.
About burning in the sun. Right, what you get into, bro?
Yeah. So you're not paying attention to your eyes. Then you ignore your sense of smell.
Yeah.
Hey, Duke, how you doing, boy? Ooh, Rebecca, you kind of smell like Duke.
Nah, you tripping.
No, I'm being truthful, and you and I both know it. You just ignore it.
Nah, you tripping. It's crazy.
So they hair ain't kind of like exactly the same as lassies.
Others are gonna die for what?
He's
an officer.
Yeah, you know, the golden retriever. You know, Rebecca with the golden hair lays on Lassie, and they laying there, and you can't really tell the fur from the hair.
Can't tell the fur from the hair.
Yeah. You should pay close attention. I'm gonna fuck up your understanding of reality now. or the very fine fur that grows on their face.
The very fine fur.
Yeah. You just look at them, they got real fine white hair, the real fine fur all over their face.
Yeah.
Just as we all know you're
You'll notice it now that I'm telling you.
which means that by disrespecting me, you're dishonoring.
You can't unsee it once you get reconnected to your senses. You can ignore it. You
Oh,
can't unsee it.
you just describing them fools like.
I'm only telling the truth. I'm not the only one to say that, you know, Lassie and Rebecca kind of smell alike.
Bam. Barbecued her.
Talk about latitude.
I mean, am I lying? No. Look, all sentient beings deserve respect. The truth is just ugly, bro. Okay?
There shouldn't be much of a challenge for that.
All right.
The truth, like that dude that smashed that ugly chick, you know, your hand up in and smashing, then she come back with your kid. See, that's the truth. Okay?
I hear you.
All right. You know you got some ugly truth hiding somewhere. You know you do. We all got a booger wolf somewhere in our past.
Disappointed.
Yep.
See? Just like we hiding shit, they hiding shit too. And they hide in them incubator factories. And Cabbage Patch Kids. Why else would you have pictures of kids in Cabbage Patches? If you're not making them in Cabbage Patches, then you got incubator fucking companies. Come on, man. Stop. How you gonna ignore the truth that's sitting right in front of your eyes?
Don't know, man. That's insane.
Oh no. We got nothing but pictures of them being around fucking incubator pictures and hundreds of them.
He didn't know. Why you playing semantics with her?
Think about this. We got hundreds of pictures of them being around incubators and hundreds of postcards of Cabbage Patch Kids. But you gonna tell me that you're not artificial?
Artificial?
And then that's the thing. Those are the people that's responsible for our existence in America. Like, come on. Let's stop the BS.
Okay, so your argument is that we're artificial beings?
No, they are. I ain't say nothing about us. We not all the same.
They are too.
Say what?
Yeah, so some of them so-called melanated people are too. I ain't gonna say which ones.
Right. You just got some different forms of bioengineering, but we're not the same. I'm sorry. The truth is just ugly.
Hey Prince, did you ever look into that Commonwealth, what I was telling you about?
Nope, did not take out the time to do it. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I had thought about it, I just didn't get around to it.
I'm telling you, that shit be looking crazy.
I tend to procrastinate. I'm the homie that stands behind you. I'll be the last one turning in my paper. You feel me?
It's all good. I just wanted your eyes on it because you literally, you know what I'm saying, look at
tear it apart
and break it.
Yeah,
you break it all the way.
In it. Yeah, I do tend to do that. Try to look motherfuckers. No, you want to. Because you know you're being lied to. So I want to catch you up in your lie and get you out the way. It's imperative that, honestly, that we push and get rid of that whip slave transatlantic history. It really do need to go.
I don't know about that. I think it came on.
Can you prove it happened?
You want to stay a whip slave?
We got to think about it. Like, look at how we live our life now. and you know, history already repeats itself. When a YT person comes into our neighborhood and see us around, are we scared of them, or are they scared of us?
When a white person comes around us,
Right. In our territory, in our where we are, whatever.
You just watch them and wonder why they there. We ain't scared of them.
Say if there's like a 30 YT people come in, and there's 100 of us sitting somewhere. Do you think they'll feel comfortable just walking through with us?
They be nervous as hell.
That's the same way they would have been back then. We ain't them type of people, bro. We ain't the type to just sit there and just let people just just abuse us, and we got all these men, these buff men sitting right here just watching this happen. These are people out here in the hot weather, exercising all day. These some buff mugs. You think they sitting up here letting this happen? Not my ancestors.
Like I said, it take 4 and 5 squad cars and 6 and 7 of them to take down one of us. But you claim you grabbed us by the millions.
No.
Do you understand when they say they took people by the millions, bro? What that means? That was moving large groups of people at a time.
I don't think niggas really know what a million really look like.
Right. I don't.
Nobody has physically ever seen a million people in one place ever.
Well, you can take a look.
It ain't never been like the most packed football game don't have a million people at it. The Super Bowl don't have a million people at the Super Bowl. That shit is like 60,000 people at the Super Bowl. We don't know. Half of them people wasn't even our people. It was a lot of media and YT people walking around to the million.
Now, okay, let's just take, since they say they moved 12 million people, let's take the size of them moving a packed for the Super Bowl. The crowd that, think about how much manpower you would have to have, or how docile these people would have to be to let you control them.
Right. Not my ancestors.
You think that was the case, that they were just docile?
It had to be if they're gonna allow the less to take over the many.
Right.
Even like war happened.
Hold on, use your brain. Now you gonna tell me this cannon crap, so why am I gonna let you drag this loud, noisy thing anywhere near me? You making all this noise in the quiet terrain. But you making all this noise, and I'm just gonna let you roll up on me. I ain't gonna hear you.
We're animals. Let's not forget about
the animals running because you're dragging these big ass cannons behind you, and all this moving. All these men with armor on, the metal and all the stuff, making all that noise. You didn't hear that shit. Stop, bro. Stop.
That shit loud as hell.
Thank you. And you chopping down trees and busheries.
Alone to even load the motherfucker.
Right, and you chopping down trees and bushery and all. Who gonna wait around for that? No, Usapa. No, stay here. Let's wait. They have to cut down some more trees. wait a minute. They have to reload. Now let's make sure we all run out there and right where we seen Mutombo and them fall. Yes, where their bodies is. Let's all run out there.
It's running a straight line at that.
Right.
They were playing red light, green light and shit.
Right. Hold on. They got to reload. Wait, it's not fair. It's not fair. They got to reload their weapons.
We're reloading.
With disrespect to the history, they do say that it was Africans selling Africans. And then from what I'm understanding, like the carbon deficient people never really went too much past the shores.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so now all day long you're rowing people back and forth out to deep water.
But then, I also.
So you're rowing people back and forth out to deep water.
Hold on though. But I also heard that they say that the Africans wasn't selling like their own people. Like the people that they were selling was outsiders and was different from them.
Exactly. It was the
Bro,
people that
if
was
you,
sitting there, they were sending back to.
if you took 12 million people, you damn near took everybody.
That part.
That's a lot of people, bro. 12 million. Now you can see 12 million people coming here with us Slavics. You can see video, you can see movie footage, you can see pictures, lots and lots of them. But when you look at slave pictures, you only see 12 or 13 people at one time. You never see a whole bunch of them together. Like that picture I showed you, man. That's a stretch. You ain't gonna find many pictures like that. Okay.
Man, trying to tell you, they trying to give us their identity. Nobody want to believe that.
Right. They painted a whole nother picture here, man. A whole nother picture. They probably, I'm wondering if they pulled some inoculation shit and gave us something that made us forget some of our memory. You know what I'm saying? This is why we don't have the oral stories of what life was really like back then. Because we don't have any stories of anybody talking about the great fires of Chicago. You know what I'm saying? I don't recall any of my family, anybody talking about, yeah, your uncle so-and-so was in the great uncle so-and-so was in the Great Fire of Chicago. Anybody else? All this stuff that went on in the late 1800s. None of y'all got stories from your family passed down of being a part of any of these great fires and stuff like that?
Tulsa, a couple of them.
Yeah, a couple of them, but why is it nobody really remembers it but a couple of them? Why they family members don't remember it? All the people that survived.
They do.
No, you should have more people coming forward than those couple of people from Tulsa. You should have large amounts of families all coming forward saying, yeah, my family. You don't really have that.
Well, how many places you think people inhabit, bro? Like, not everyone's gonna have the same story.
What do you mean? All these people left from Tulsa, Oklahoma. You don't stay there while they shooting at you.
People, but it's many different, like, there's more families in the U.S. than just the ones that we see.
Yeah, but that's the whole point. Why don't those families, those hundreds and hundreds and thousands or whatever families that left from Tulsa doing that, why don't we see more of them coming forward talking about what they
you think it's hundreds and hundreds of thousands, but it ain't that much.
It was thousands of people. That's enough to have families coming forward. Why they not speaking on it? Is it something that they did to them to make they lose their memory?
No, they were the people. They were the people with the civil rights.
No, it's only a few people who have came forward. A few. It should be a group.
Handful.
Bro, it's a few that we learn about.
But you do notice it happened more than just Tulsa. So basically,
the point is, I got stories
that experience families that experience the situation. So there should be more people that are able that should be able to remember those situations that being passed
down. Right. Like I got the story of my grandfather, my great grandfather leaving from Mississippi, and him and them white sheep boys. They passed down that story. I can still tell you about. I can tell you about the time my grandfather said he was shooting at a Black Panther, and my grandmother had to rip off her clothes, tear off pieces of her dress because she came from the slaughterhouse and the Panther was chasing her. But I don't have any stories of the Great Fire of Chicago. I've never heard anybody say anything about that.
To answer your question, that's what I mean. What they did is they made a way to separate the families. So they go into the household to break up the family. So the families ain't talking like that or passing that stuff down. That's when you get the deadbeat dad stuff coming in and all this stuff. They put the drugs in our areas. I mean, it was all kind of things they did to us. It wasn't just
I just realized our people don't have those stories. 1879 wasn't that long ago.
They too doped up in some of these areas or whatever the case.
The Great Fire of 1910 that's supposed to hit Chicago. Why don't we have any oral stories of that? It's like it's like they got everybody to take a shot and then wiped everybody's memory. Yeah, I'm wondering if them shots they was giving out claiming it was stopping measles and mumps and all this stuff back in the 60s and stuff, or whatever, is what did it. Because we have an oral memory gap. We don't have, even though we read up on all these stories, look at them in 1879. We should have oral stories passed down through our families about these great calamities in Chicago and San Francisco and New York and all these places that caught on fire.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah, I noticed little oddities about that. 1910, Chicago caught on fire again. Nobody has a story of escaping that. I almost lost your aunt, great auntie so and so in the Great Chicago Fire. Yeah, I was a little kid. They wrapped me in a blanket. None of those stories.
It's a lot of those stories out there, but a lot of the people that had those stories has passed away.
But see, they didn't pass them on like me. Like I said, I got stories of Mississippi.
Dred, you have to think about that too. The same way you saying that, we should have those same type of stories being passed down to us about if we came from Africa too.
That's true. There are no little carvings of little Africans. No slave decided to sit down and whittle out a little African carving. Not one. Not one slave in 400 years of slavery. Do you have any little artifacts that African slaves carved out from remembrance of their motherland? 12 million slaves and nobody carved any goddamn thing. Nobody said this is in remembrance of where I came from.
Carved in a tree somewhere, hidden somewhere, anything.
Yeah, I mean, but if you're a slave and you're being taken from your homeland and you got time on your hand, you sitting and you got a little knife or something, you would carve out something to remind you of where you came from.
No, bro, I know you can go ahead and just look that shit up right now.
I've never heard anybody talk about it.
Bro, you can look that shit up
I've
right
never
now.
heard anybody talk about slaves and carvings. No, I've heard of them talk about carvings over in Africa and places like that, but I've never heard anything about the slaves leaving behind wooden little carvings and stuff and all this stuff. All they showed us was shacks and chains. They didn't show us. They didn't show us none of the shit that they really used. They showed us a pot, no personal shit.
Nah, go ahead. You can look some of that stuff up, bro. That stuff. They got a lot of that crap in Haiti. They got a lot of that in
but not in America,
huh? In America, like in places like Florida, Mississippi.
Well, hold on.
Find it. But
we got 39 people in the audience. We got 5, 6 people up here.
That, bro.
Do any of y'all know of any slave carvings, of missing Africa that the slaves left behind?
In Brazil.
Any carvings? Anybody?
No, but I got a carving of something in a tree I did about 25 years ago.
Yeah, but don't you think slaves would have carved little things to remind them of coming from Africa and passed it down as much as they could? We collected these, and some slave owner caught them and took them and kept them. Come on now, we should see that shit in the museum. 12 million people was brought here.
You ain't gonna see it
because it don't exist. Because it didn't happen.
Look at this. You see, 1670, free Africans and Indians cannot purchase YT servants, Christians, basically, but can purchase any from their own nation. These are the slave codes in Virginia.
You're right.
Free Africans and Indians. You see that big as day, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was free Africans and Indians. Why would they put us together if we don't look alike?
Right.
So
Their own laws be catching them up.
You said what?
Paying attention, man. Answer the question.
Yeah, for me to be paying attention to. I'm just chilling.
Hey, if you want to ignore it and keep on believing in the written history like they telling you the truth, then go ahead. You just you'll be what they call an educated fool. Or do you want to be a real truth seeker and realize that you've been lied to? That it don't
want to, Dre. Look, that's what I'm saying. You sitting up getting all this information, you over there playing the game. You don't really want to understand what's going on here.
Remember when I said? Remember earlier when I said the white people was, you know what I'm saying, enslaved, and that Benjamin Franklin was a slave too? There go right here. And given the high death rate, many servants did not live to the end of their terms. In the 18th century and the early 19th century, numerous Europeans, mostly from the British Isles, traveled to the colonies as redemptioners, a particularly harsh form of indenture. Indentured servants were a separate category from bound apprentices. The later, which is bound apprentices, were American-born children, usually orphans or from impoverished families who could not care for them. They are under control of the courts and were bound to work as an apprentice until a certain age. Two famous bound apprentices were Benjamin Franklin, who illegally fled his apprenticeship to his brother, and Andrew Johnson, who later became president of the United States. George Washington used indentured servants. In April 1775, he offered a reward for the return of two runaway white servants. Boom.
Interesting. But the story they tell you is he offered
white slaves
for runaway slaves. See, the story they tell you is he offered a reward for runaway slaves. But you look it up, it's runaway white slaves.
But you see, Benjamin Franklin was a slave too. Indentured servant. He was a bound apprentice. I mean, he was an orphan trained baby. He didn't have no parents.
All right. Well, that fucking incubator and that Frankenstein shit again, huh?
All of them people that was coming over here, bro. There wasn't no hierarchies from over there.
Exactly.
The peasants that was coming over here.
There was criminals over there.
What I figure is when they fell sick, the ones who was working under the black nobility took their place. You know, if you're using it for,
if you got it, probably.
If you're using them for a working class, you're gonna have them in the house with you, and so they're gonna be the closest ones helping you. And so when you fall sick or something happened to you, they're gonna automatically assume your place because they're already there.
Facts.
Right. So this is how you get the hierarchy of the royal family. They were already in these places. This is how you get these super rich families that's been there for a long time because they was in those high places. They switched places just like they gave out 12 million names when they came here.
It was more like and somebody in the family betrayed another family member. She got beheaded. And after 18 years, which 1 + 8 = 9 which is completion, right? And then they went on from there, and that's how we got to where we are now. Well, most of the people they exiled out into the Caribbean, into America.
Well, you can clearly see traces of that with Man in the Iron Tire. What is it? Man in the Mask. What is it called? The Man in the Iron Tower. What's the name of it? Where they put dude in the iron mask and traded places with him. The prince, the king. Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about, right? The man.
I don't watch movies, so I don't know.
Yeah, but it's also history. I just forgot who it was. He was supposed to had been switched at a certain age, and they went to put him in an iron mask the whole time.
Man in the Iron Mask. I think he had Leonardo DiCaprio.
Right. I mean, they clearly telling you they switching places with people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah, it's just like under your nose. Look, we're switching places. Look, we're gonna put him in an iron mask. Don't catch this.
Put him in the tower.
Right. We ain't gonna kill you off. And this is why I say they holding the Boule hostage.
I don't know. The Boule.
That's
free. I think they Kanye West and Drake now.
I wouldn't be surprised because why? they're closer to them than anybody else. I would hate to be that close to extremely wealthy Europeans. I honestly would. I would hate that. I would not like to be them superstars. Probably why I didn't follow my career any farther, because I didn't want to be up there because I was getting up there.
That's how it be.
That's probably why I stopped, because I used to love hosting shows. You see, I love to talk. And
I see.
Right.
We see. And I can imagine you with some music playing behind you in the club.
Oh yeah, I was clowning. I was clowning on that stage, hosting them shows, But I stopped because I didn't want to cross over to that back door. I didn't want to go through that door.
Yeah, they don't like when I talk about that white tea slavery. They don't want to. So all this slavery was going on at the same time, Saeed?
Take them with you.
Or was it two different slaveries and somebody lying? Saeed don't like me no more. He don't fuck with me. He playing this Call of Duty. He ain't even listening to me no more.
I'm answering your chat. The problem is these people came over here like blank slates. They didn't know anything.
I see the picture of them at the beach today with the suits on, and they had umbrellas. It was a picture on Facebook I seen. I'm like, boy, they look out of place in a motherfucker. Why would you need an umbrella at the beach if you go to the beach to get some sun?
Right. You don't know what this is. This is something completely alien. And man, can you pull that picture up real quick? You got it on hand?
Nah, I ain't even got it on this tablet, but I got it in my phone. But yeah, I know. But you were supposed to screenshot it the last time.
Damn, I forgot to.
Yeah, see?
I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna start looking them up.
Look, you was high that day, huh? And all you seen was the picture and forgot to screenshot it.
The hell yeah. Why you on the beach standing in the water with your pants not rolled up? With your shoes on. Water just going over your shoes.
With a 3-piece suit on, with a tie,
right,
and the top hat.
Right. You don't know what you're doing. You don't have any programming. You're just standing there. And like common sense would tell you to back out of the water. I got on socks, shoes, pants, coat, and you just letting waves splash. Huh? No programming.
Yeah, because they want to go with that blank narrative of history when obviously you had this type of shit going on. That ain't her baby.
Right. You can clearly see that from the head.
You had us taking in all these orphan trained children.
Mm-hmm.
And them too. And the Baskins was taking them in too, because they was on a little bit of land that they did have, with the areas where they was living at. They found oil on their land. That's what the Illers of the Flower Moon movie about.
Mm-hmm.
How did them Athabascans had oil on their land, and white tea men was coming out there to marry them just so they can get in on the oil game.
Mm-hmm.
And they were so wealthy and rich that they didn't see it coming. They was blind.
It's amazing how far to hide our true selves.
I'm gonna say mulatto Native American.
Make that make sense. In the 1880s, same time. It's at the same time when we talking about all these orphan trained children. It's popping in the 1880s.
Right.
All these immigrants is flooding in the 1880s, and our towns were getting burnt down in the 1880s.
Now, you know what else is strange about that time period? They was writing Frankenstein and Dracula in the 1880s.
Make that make sense.
Right.
And
Captain
what was the other book? The
Captain Nemo.
The dude who wrote the Time Machine and all that shit. All that shit was around that. Yeah, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and all that shit.
Yeah.
Jules
Dr.
Verne.
Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Verne.
Yep. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, the Wolf Man.
Jack the Ripper.
Right. All that was in that time period.
This when these people were just running, and this is the same time gangs in New York going on.
Mm-hmm.
The No Name Party. They form it.
Then when you're looking at the cities, you got all these pristine buildings, but they got all these raggedy tents all out in front of them. Just go look at pictures of the 1800s of Victorian London and all that stuff, man. That shit don't look right. Got all these nice metal work buildings out here, and you got all these raggedy ass tents and horse and buggy dragging around on it. Come on, man. Make that make sense. You got all these tents and stuff in front of these pretty ass buildings. And they raggedy.
After all, what greater pain is there than losing someone you love?
Then you're gonna build all this magnificent structure, but you defecating in the streets.
Finding out someone you love.
Make that make sense. You building all these magnificent buildings, but y'all so nasty, y'all don't even wash up to the late 1800s, and this is their own history saying this. I'm supposed to believe you built all this magnificent stuff, and you don't even believe in washing your butt.
Look, you see right here. Caption: workers in Knoxville cotton mill location, Knoxville, Tennessee. National Child Labor Committee photograph. These are the people that was picking the cotton.
Right.
Besides, he believe we was picking cotton. Nah, bro.
Any pictures?
Damn.
It was them.
Any pictures of them picking cotton?
Yeah.
Like I said, I can show you pictures of thousands of Slavics, but I can't show you a picture of hundreds of slaves. It's only 15 or 12 in any of them pictures. You ain't gonna never see over 20 people in them fields, over 50 or 100. And you ain't gonna see no signs of plantations. All you do is read about plantations, but you don't really.
The white man will allow you to have them pictures of just white people alone and no black folks to show the narrative of slavery.
Bruh, show me.
Don't you understand what I'm saying, Saeed?
Show me one more. Show me somebody with their back whipped up besides Peter Gordon.
But you're not understanding me though.
Show me somebody besides Peter Gordon with his back whipped up.
You said Peter Gordon?
Yeah, that's the dude with his back whipped up. That when you pull up whip slave, he's gonna pop up.
Yeah, but wouldn't
nobody else pops up but him.
But why would you think they want?
And look, guess who else pops up?
And they
let me answer that for him real quick.
The fellow Freemason.
Wait a minute. You said why would they want to show us any other pictures besides him?
No, yeah. So why would they show us any pictures depicting slavery in an actual like the light that they say?
Know it happened.
Well, wait a minute. So you trying to tell me they couldn't take a picture of somebody else's back all whipped up?
Why would it just like naturally not just like fit the narrative of what slavery was?
Okay. There's only one picture of a whipped slave. Focus with me. There's only one picture of a whipped slave. Why didn't they take pictures of other whipped slaves' backs? It's only one picture.
That's my point.
What's your point?
Show you one and then just give you a whole narrative.
Because that shit is a lie. That's why.
Yeah, but why would they just give you one?
Because we was here already. This our land.
No,
we was the original. We was the original landowners.
They didn't expect us to dig that deep.
Why would they just give you one photo?
Because they didn't expect us to dig that deep.
He was a performer, bro. That I could show you his whole tribe do that. I showed his whole tribe on live. His tribe is the they from Nigeria though. I put up his whole tribe. They still do that practice to this day where they whip their back. It's called self-scarification.
Oh, know about that, bro.
I showed it on live, bro.
So tell me, why are there other pictures
still around?
of slaves?
Why is there only one picture depicting black folks, I guess, of slavery on your defense? Why is there only one picture? Like
because they didn't expect us to dig that deep.
Why is it not multiple?
Us to not, if we were that educated and we were that powerful back then, how come we wouldn't dig that deep?
Because they thought the drugs that they used on us was going to keep effect, apparently, and it wore off.
Yeah.
They thought it was going to pass it on generation to generation. And they didn't expect they didn't expect us to get on TikTok and start doing this. They thought we was all going to be on here flashing money, gold, all our women jiggling and shaking their booties and stuff. They did not expect.
Yeah, bro.
Do you understand that? This was a fluke.
Nah, bro, that's the fluke right there. If they were only going to post about what white slavery was like and they did this to them, wouldn't they get reparations? Wouldn't they still be in power?
Why do that when I can pretend like I'm the boss of it all and keep all your shit?
Bro, they don't want to act like that. You know, white
Why
people.
not? I mean, I'm dirty. I don't like the way you did us.
They'll throw us under the bus as soon as they can. So I'm saying, if white slavery was true and it happened on this impact, damn, they could do us worse than they already did.
Well, they did do us worse, but the problem is they need us to stay alive. We're connected to the planet. Okay, we're a whole lot more than we're organic for real. They're not. See, I'm gonna show you how you can tell this. When you take a black Americans, I'm using it as a general term, children outside, and you pick their hair out. Look at the child's hair and the shape of it. Then look up at the trees. I guarantee you find a tree that's shaped during the summertime that's shaped just like that child's head. Pick if you supposed to be a black American, pick your hair out, bruh. Let it grow. I guarantee you go outside and find a tree the same shape as your head.
That's any hairstyle we got.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't. Well, yeah, actually it is. You right. You right.
You can see locks in nature.
Locks. That's a weeping willow. That's a weeping willow right there. Right. You right. Like nobody else. Yeah. Wow, man.
I'll put that on my mama.
You wrote it, didn't you? Wow, man. Nice work.
What up, wild man?
I don't think you realize this song came off of me.
Yeah, Henrietta Lacks a lot. And the album here.
Oh man.
But the story should explain it all too, bro. He's from Florida.
Hey, you don't have to mute. Oh man, I can't hear nobody. Oh, wait a minute. Thank you. You can't hear that. Wow, man. Thank you.
Out tonight. He about to hit the streets. He turning up.
Yeah, I see. Shit, I need to roll up. You just Shaheed, man, he's right. All our hairstyles match the trees, bro. We're more connected to this planet than anybody else. And they don't like us realizing that. You understand? All our women putting their hair up is keeping them.
Bro, we the oldest people on earth, so we're just naturally connected to the world in general. So like,
how the hell we wasn't in America though?
Huh?
So how we wasn't in America before all this?
Because people devolved from us.
If we are connected to America and trees that you see here in America, bro, how was we not in America?
How was we not here? Because brother, there would be an archaic Negro. We would have one.
Yes, bro. There's plenty. And
our heads match the trees here in the country, bro. How were we not here? Our hairstyles literally match.
Well, don't start with the hairs and the trees.
But it do. Dreads is all these brothers running around. Dreads look like weeping willows.
And then the archaeology in America.
Look like trees, an example. So like, bro, what do trees do? What do the leaves do on a tree?
That they fall out and
they grow so we can break it down.
They absorb the sunlight.
Yeah, they absorb the sunlight. That too.
So like, what do we do as humans, especially as black people?
Well, we absorb the sunlight.
We absorb the sun. What does our hair do? That protects us from the sun.
Yeah, but it looks just like the trees.
Exactly, when it grows out fully. So
right, but they don't look like the trees. How come they don't look like the trees?
Because we original.
Right, because they're bioengineered.
You got it right there. But but they
You're
just
right.
off from us. They're still human, bro.
Say sorry.
No, we don't get ticks and lice, bro.
Say
They're
swear.
still human, bro.
We don't get ticks and lice.
Yo, what up?
And
Who
then,
is this
and
Negro?
then we're not taking into a fact that America is the most ancient continent. You can't get past that, bro. You can't get past
Did he
America
ever
being
tell
the
y'all?
most ancient
America was
continent.
inhabitable, bro. We went through this.
We already went through this, bro. Let me pull up the map. America was very inhabitable, and y'all
Just
talk
pay
about
attention. This is how y'all solve that. How old are both of y'all? How old? How old? Just real quick. This is how you solve this. How old are both of y'all?
I bet you $20. I bet you $20. I bet you $20. Sosa older than Saeed.
He probably is, but their own childhood can prove this. Prove the answer to this.
Let me see the big screen one time, Swarthy.
Now, before you go that far, how old are you, Swarthy? I mean, not Swarthy. Sosa.
I'm 33, bro.
Okay. Now, Saeed, how old are you?
Swear the line. He ain't no 30. That nigga swear the line.
Huh?
Swear the line like a motherfucking African, man.
Saeed, how old are you?
I'm 43.
Oh,
okay. Do you remember you grew up in America, right?
allegedly.
Yeah.
What fruit trees did y'all used to climb up into when you were kids?
Oh, I know.
Fruit trees.
No, I want to hear them too.
Fruit trees.
Yeah.
Dude, I used to
have mulberry.
What?
I climbed up a lot of
mulberry trees. I'm from Phoenix, bro.
So
Phoenix.
what you do?
Yeah, mulberry trees.
Okay, and so what you had, Saeed?
The trees, I guess I used to climb up here in America. I guess that would be like an oak tree.
Nah, say what fruit trees that you cried?
Talking about like misbelief, like those misbelief trees and
kumquats.
That too. We call it misbelief, but they're like little fruit seeds in the inside. They fall on the ground.
Yeah, kumquats. Yeah,
that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So, as you can see, now when I was a kid, it was way more than what y'all had because I'm 53. All right.
Damn,
we had a variety of shit we could pick.
43, 33, 23. Everybody 10 years above it.
Right. But I'm saying, what we're showing is, as these years is going, they're cutting down the damn trees, bro. This country used to be so full of food, it was everywhere. You understand that?
Mm-hmm.
That's how advanced we were. We had food everywhere because we remembered them cutting down these trees. We don't have them anymore.
They cut down these trees everywhere, bro. It's deforestation.
Yeah, because the people who used to be here were an advanced society and realized that the only way for everybody to actually be taken care of is for it to be food every fucking where.
Well, you see, no, that's all indigenous peoples, bro. Like everywhere across the planet. No, I'm saying across the planet.
But Africa don't have that.
No, I'm saying across the planet. Free food is everywhere. Like
no, Africa don't really have no food. It don't have no really.
You don't think that's the whole point? Africa's been exploited.
Africa is an export, not an import.
And it's been exploited though. They took all the resources out of Africa.
What resources?
Bro, so we gotta go through what Africa has for resources now.
Yes, sir. Because guess what? Africa ain't really helping nobody.
Why is them British folks there?
They only got mineral resources. They don't have food resources.
If you think they ain't got no food, you tripping.
They don't. That's the reason why they're a third world country, because they spend more time.
Gonna bring up maize
listen, hold on. I'm saying look, they're a third world country because they have to spend more time searching and looking for survival for food. They don't have it like we had it in America, where you could just walk outside your house and just grab something to eat. Just like that, and then walk a couple of feet over and grab some fresh water. They gotta walk for miles for this shit. Life is harder in Africa. This is why they're still a third world country, because they spend more time trying to survive. Whereas here in America, you didn't have to spend all that time. You got fresh water everywhere.
But look, Prince Red, you can hit him across the head with this one. Where was Africa at when there was an ice age?
Was Africa still Africa, right?
Nope. Africa was still in the water, player.
No, I don't think so, bro. I think that was America.
So do me a favor. I'm rolling.
Africa was still underwater.
I'm not even sure about that.
And I wanted to
was the last continent to rise out of the water.
Bro, the Ice Age did not affect all of America. The Ice Age only
Yeah, but it was not habitable, bro. There was no humans.
What are you talking
No,
about?
no,
There was no humans on
archaeology
America,
shows it.
on the
The
American
archaeology
continent,
shows it,
bro. There was no humans on the
That's
American
crazy. Does that
continent.
make sense to you?
There was, and the
Does that
archaeology
make sense to
shows
y'all?
it.
Like, you know,
I'm not locked in. First of all, I know that the history I'm reading is written by descendants of a criminal. And in the book, I think that. So I'm looking at it from the perspective of a liar who should not be telling me you come from a cold climate, mountainous area, and you're trying to tell me about my history and about the rest of the world.
so from the
Whereas
way
my
y'all
people,
viewing
my
y'all view
people,
the land, this adds up to y'all.
If you can prove to me right now, Saeed, that Africa was not in the water during the Ice Age, I become an African American tonight.
Africa was not in the water during the Ice Age.
I just gave you an alley hoop. Prove to me Africa was not in
hold on.
the water, and I will become an African American tonight.
And then that's what I'm saying, bro. When they give us that Ice Age story, it's because when the ice cleared up, then them natives was able to walk through, and that's the story they giving us. But
There
we
you
was
go.
here, bro, and all of America was never trapped in no Ice Age. Point blank.
Facts.
Nope.
Especially the southern, eastern, and the southern western part. It was never under ice.
And tell me another thing I want to ask you. If Africa the motherland, why they can't grow the fruits we grow over there? Now, if you're the motherland, you feeding the whole. If you're the motherland, you feeding.
Yeah,
everybody.
Africa wasn't in the water during the Ice Age.
Boy, call me back, y'all. Call me back tomorrow when Josh go live, please.
No, I wasn't. I just looked it up. Hold on.
No, call me back. You ain't do the right search because Africa was in the water.
Show it. If you looked it up, show it. Just show it. That's all you gotta do is show it.
I don't got enough on this account, bro.
See, here we go with the excuses.
Hold on. Hey, Swarthy, I'm gonna come right back. I'm gonna follow you.
Mm-hmm.
Look, y'all just lost a Pan African. Look, y'all just lost a future Pan African. You can't even prove it. Look, I'm not gonna lie to you.
You keep going back. What tripped me out is how they go back to sleep. You just keep throwing them wake up bells, and they just keep.
You got to remember though. You got to remember though, Prince. He trying to keep his mind on the African channel. He can't. We got to play dumb somewhere.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah. You keep going back to sleep. You gotta wake up and disconnect.
He drinking that lean. He's sleeping.
Yeah. Because I guess it's safer to go along with it. See, you feel like he dumb. See, that's another thing. You can't feel like you dumb because you know the stuff. See, you gotta remember. Another thing is when you start attacking the history, you start making people feel like they don't know shit or they dumb. Because
but then again, though, Prince Dre, we gotta forget he is young. He ain't number like 23.
But see, people gotta understand they've been lied to. You're not dumb. You just been lied to.
But then again, I can't even give him that pass because I know some 23, 24-year-olds.
Yeah.
No. I mean, that's a lot of the problem. People don't want to feel like I spent all these hours studying all this shit. I done learned all this shit. Now you telling me this is all bullshit?
That
like telling me out, and so they start feeling like they dumb, but you're not dumb. You just been lied to.
Don't feel bad.
I'm smart as fuck. You just been told a lot of bullshit.
Look, you know the Moors be like Morocco. Even Morocco is some shit named after some other shit. It's named after the city of. I can't even see that shit, but y'all can screenshot this shit. This shit break the whole continent of Africa down, where they got the names from, what year it happened.
Hey, you know what? That's
It even tell you who influenced it on that little chart right there. On that chart, that little pie chart, it tell you who influenced it, whether it's Indo-European, Afro-Aramaic, or unknown, or local.
I'm gonna do you one better then, Saeed. Saeed, let me ask you a question though, Saeed.
Yeah.
What famous African you know today created anything we using today?
Famous African?
What African you know from Africa is that created something that we are using today?
Philip Emeagwali.
Outside of minerals.
Philip Emeagwali.
That's a mineral.
Outside of minerals.
That's not a mineral.
What I mean by something that we using today, like
Yeah, I just said Philip
I'm
Emeagwali.
talking about the internet.
I'm talking about the internet dude, but the internet dude literally had to come to America to study.
Thank you.
And you said name an African.
That knowledge.
You said name an African, bro.
But that's one invention compared to.
Oh my God, you just said name one.
I know, but he was saying he was meaning in like not internet use, but in practical use that we do today. Car, iron, any of those type of inventions that better our average everyday life.
We use this in our everyday life nowadays.
Yeah, I know that, but something tangible, not the internet that you got